This conference will now be recorded.
Just a quick introduction about yourself. So your name and where are you from, what exactly you are doing, and how you got interested into this program. What brings you here? That's what I wanted to know. And please put yourself on mute, guys. Hi Anubhav. Hi Kunal. Hi Kancha. So tell me about your background and all. Okay. Okay, Kuldeep. Great. Sure, Kuldeep. Sure. Good morning, Sumir. Good morning, Mayank. Hi, Abhinav. Hello, Subhash. Hello, Anubhav. Good morning, Shruti. Hello, Manoj. Hi, Sharad. So I can see we have people from all diverse background. Somebody's from MBA, somebody's from the cloud background, somebody from CCNA. It's great to see you all. Hi, Noella. Hello, Kalpana. Hi, Jaiti. Hello, Pankaj. Hello, Kunal. Okay. Good morning, Dr. Inu. No audio? I'm just reading out all your chats, whatever chats you're sending. I'm just reading them out for now. I'll be starting in a bit. Okay. Hi Arshad. Hi Ashwin. No sound? So you guys not able to hear me? You are audible. I guess
Yeah, we
somebody
can
is having.
listen to you. It's audible now.
Okay. I guess some of you are having problems, so you can rejoin. If anybody is having problem, they can rejoin.
Can you please guide where is the chat option? I still cannot see it.
I think you are using the web app or you are using the app. Which one you are using?
I'm using an application. First, I tried on laptop, but it's not working. So I downloaded on my phone actually the app version
Okay, it's on the
from
phone.
Play Store.
So on the phone,
Yes.
on the top might be you are getting this chat option because the screen size is
No,
small.
when I clicked on that,
You're not able to see
I do
any of the chat.
understand, but it's not. Yes, I'm not able to see any of the chat still.
Okay, that's not an issue because I'll be sharing my screen and you'll be able to hear me. So not an issue. You
That's
can
all right.
just
Thank you very much. Okay.
unmute yourself. Whenever you want to ask questions, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
No issues.
Hello.
Yes.
Just wanted to let you know, Gaurav, if you see the chat option, you will click on that and chat with everyone. You have to select everyone on that page. And you land on the chat page.
No, I'm not having issue with the chat. Someone else is having the issue. He's joined from the mobile phone and he's having some issues.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I guess we can start now. So let me introduce myself. Okay. I suppose working. Okay, great. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Nandesh and I'm a data science consultant and a trainer as well. So I train people in the field of machine learning, data science, deep learning, and data analytics. So I cover tools like Python, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and all these tools which are related to data science and data analytics. I have more than 5 years of experience and I've been working with Brillica Services from around 3 years, you can say, 3+ years. And at Brillica Services, we provide the services like IT training, software development, website development. Sakshi, I guess you are having some issue with your mic. So I am audible to everyone.
Yes, you're audible.
You're audible.
Okay. So we have a presence in Dehradun and Delhi as well. So let's start with the agenda. What exactly the agenda? What are the things that I'm going to talk about today? So I would request all of you to please put yourself on mute, and at the end, if you have any doubts, you can then jot them down. You can write them somewhere, and I'll be addressing them at the end of the session. So please put yourself on mute. One second. Okay, great. So during the session, if I'm not audible, if the audio drops out, you can just ping in the chat, and I'll try to fix it. So let's start. The agenda today is going to be, we will talk about introduction to data science. Then we'll talk about the technology, the tools and technology for data scientists. Then we'll see data science using Python. And then we'll also look into the introduction to machine learning, deep learning. What are these all aspects of data science? Then we'll talk about the techniques in data mining, data classification, and data analysis, how exactly they are different and all. So using the data science in the use cases, we'll talk about the use cases in the different industrial aspects. And then we'll talk about the markets for data scientists in India, the salary packages, the requirements, and the scope. And at the last, we will have the Q&A round. Let's start. So what is data science? So traditionally, the data that we use, or that had, most of the time, the data was structured data, and it was small in size, which which can be analyzed using simple tools such as Excel, or some of people, might have used different tools, at their time when they were doing the analysis. But unlike today, the data is the traditional system are not there anymore. The data that is available to us, it is unstructured, or you can say semi-structured. I'll come to it, what is structured data, what is unstructured data, but for now, let's say that most of the time today, the data is going to be unstructured. And if you want to look at the graph, how there is a difference between how the data is gathered between the structured and the unstructured form. So you'll find most of the data in 2020s and 2021 as well, 80% of the data is unstructured data. So difference between these two, what is unstructured, what is structured data? So structured data, you can read this out. The structured data stands for the information that is highly organized, factual and to the point. So basically, you can say the information which can be easily understood by the end user. Maybe that can be in the form of tabular form, in the form of Excel. So that can be understood by the end user. Unstructured data. So unstructured data doesn't have any predefined structure, and it comes at all derived forms basically. So the data which is coming from the internet logs, you can say the financial logs, the data from the IoT devices, that is the kind of unstructured data you can say. So it is quantitative and it is qualitative, you can say. So the structured data, how exactly we store the structured data? We use the data warehouses and the relationship databases like SQL in order to store the data, the structured data. In case of unstructured data, we generally use the data lakes, and there is no relational databases. So we use NoSQL databases like MongoDB, and there are different databases that are there. And you can say unstructured data, it's huge format of array and several predefined formats. So it follows a schema. In case of structured data, it follows a schema which can be interpreted and it can be understood by the end user, and the data can be easily extracted if it is in the unstructured format. Okay, again, the differences, you can read this out, how exactly they are different. So I think that will make it much better, for you. If for somebody who doesn't understand the difference between these two, what is the structured data, what is unstructured data? So structured data, it can be arranged in the form of rows and columns. So it cannot be displayed. So for an end user, for a human being, if we can visualize something in the form of rows and column, so हमारे लिए वो काफी ज़्यादा easy होता है. But अगर उसको हम analyze ना कर पाए, visualize ना कर पाए in the form of rows and columns, so it becomes very difficult for us. So you can say numbers and dates and strings. So numbers उसमें stored हैं, या आपकी dates stored हैं, या strings stored हैं. इसके केस में unstructured data के cases में क्या हो सकता है कि images, audio, video, word processing file, emails and spreadsheets. So वो data you can realize कि वो data आज के time पे कौन सा data ज़्यादा आपके पास. आप Instagram यूज करते हो, you might be using LinkedIn, you might be using some other platforms as well. तो उन प्लेटफॉर्म में जो डेटा गैदर हो रहा है, that is also in this particular form, which is unstructured form. That can be in the form of images, that can be in the form of audio files, that can be in the form of video files, or different formats. Sorry guys. So the estimated 20% of the Gartner. So who exactly? Gartner is basically a business, it's a company, business intelligence company. So it says that estimate 20% of the enterprise data. So it says that 20% of the data, as I said before, with the data 20%, that is structured data. Rest of the 80% of the data is in the unstructured format. So you can say structured data case may we require less space, but when we talk about unstructured data, so we require more space, you can say. So the graph that you see before, ये graph जो आपको दिखाई दे रहा है, so it's in the exabytes. This data that you see, कि कितना कौन सा data कितनी size या कितनी memory consume कर रहा है. So this is telling me that this data is in the exabytes. Okay. So again, it talks about कि structured data, it's easier to manage, and in case of unstructured data, it's more difficult to manage. Anyways, now coming to the data science. So once we understand data, because when we talk about data science, it meant of, it is meant of two words, that is data and science. So we should be aware data kitni tarah ka hota hai, and then we should be aware of the data science as well. So like in schools as well, we must have studied science. So in science there were multiple divisions, like physics was there, chemistry was there, biology was there, and in physics as well there were multiple divisions as well. In chemistry there was multiple divisions as well. In biology, same goes for every subject. So same goes for data science as well. So it's a field of data, and we are performing different experiment on top of that. So data science is a blend of various tools and algorithm and machine learning principle with the goal to discover hidden pattern from the raw data. So you can just remember this one thing, that finding the hidden patterns, for now you can say, from the raw data. So if I'm having the raw data, how can I find the hidden pattern? How can I find the hidden pattern from the raw data? So I would be using data science for that. कि शायद वो, क्योंकि ये डेटा क्या है, अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड है, सो इसको समझना मेरे लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, बट अगर मैं किसी टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके, किसी एल्गोरिथम को यूज करके अगर मैं उसमें से कुछ पैटर्न्स निकाल पाऊं, सो दैट विल बी अ पार्ट ऑफ डेटा साइंस, चाहे वो डेटा एनालिसिस का पार्ट हो, चाहे वो मशीन लर्निंग का पार्ट हो, या कुछ भी हो. So to be a data scientist, there are multiple skills that you would require. These are the skills that you can see, and it is an intersection of all these skills. That is the domain expertise, that whatever domain you might be working on, you need to have expertise. आपको पता होना चाहिए उस domain के बारे में. Let's say if I'm working on the healthcare domain, so I should be aware about the healthcare domain because I will be dealing with the data. तो अगर मुझे context से नहीं पता होगा, मुझे पता ही नहीं होगा कि इस data में इस चीज का क्या मतलब है, इस चीज का क्या मतलब है, what is the end goal, what exactly we are trying to achieve. So मेरे लिए काम कर पाना, I mean, it's impossible. So domain expertise is required, and whenever we work on projects, so we talk to the domain experts and they guide us with the domain. इस domain में चीजें कैसे work करती हैं, what is the thing that you need to know, what is the thing you don't need to know, what is important, what is not important, all of that. Then obviously computer science is required because all these things are algorithm, they are written in the form of code, so we have to apply them. So in order to apply them, we should be good with the computer science part. And then comes to the mathematical part. So all of these algorithms, they are relying on mathematics, purely on mathematics, probability and statistics. So we should be good with the mathematics. Guys, please put yourself on mute. If you guys have any questions, please note them down. I will be taking all those questions at the end of the session. Please put yourself on mute. Otherwise, I have to do it manually. Okay, great. Okay, so now you might be having this very common question in your mind, that what is the difference between an analyst and data scientist? So these are the few points which I've listed down. So you can say the difference between these two. The first one is the one, analyze the historical data. What exactly happened in the past? That is the job of analyst. Now, what exactly the data scientist does? It basically does the future prediction. So analyst क्या करता है? Past में क्या हुआ? What exactly happened? क्या हो चुका है? And the scientist will try to predict future में क्या होगा. That is something he'll try to do. Guys, again I'm saying, please put yourself on mute. Guys, I'm audible to everyone?
Sir.
Please type
Yes, sir.
So Shobha, I guess she's having some.
Yes, sir.
Shobha, you need to rejoin.
It's audible.
One
It's audible
second.
now.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I was talking about the differences between the analyst and the data scientist. So basically, the analyst who does the the what exactly happened in the past. So past में क्या हुआ है, कैसे हुआ है, वो analyze करने की कोशिश करता है. You build different kind of visualizations, you use different techniques in order to perform all these tasks. And the data scientist does what will happen in the future. So let's say if I'm having the sales data, So the analyst will perform कि past में sales किस तरह से vary कर रही थी हमारी, in which month we were having the maximum sale, in which month we were not having good sale, we are not performing well. The analyst will also do the distribution, किस कौन से audience से या किस तरह के group of customers से we are having the maximum sales, किस timing में we are having the maximum sales. So those set of questions that he will try to answer. So he have set of questions which he will be receiving from the business stakeholders, or which he might form up, which he will try to answer with the help of different tools that are available to him. And then coming to the data scientist, he does what? He does the future prediction. So what will happen in the future, how much sale we can expect in the next month, in the next year, in the next quarter, and whatnot, which is going to be the best time for us, in which we need to be prepared for all these things. So for an analyst, basic programming is required, and if you are starting out, then you should be always going with the data analyst part. So for data scientist, advanced programming and advanced programming is required, because you will be building machine learning model and you have to do a lot of experimentation. So uske liye you should be well versed with the programming part. Then analyst does the static modeling. So again, as I said, static modeling को देखेगा, खुद से चीजों को identify करके उसमें देखेगा, pattern वगैरह ढूंढने की कोशिश करेगा. And the data scientist does the predictive modeling. So I'll come to predictive modeling. Predictive modeling क्या है in a bit. So for now, you can say these are the two things what exactly that does. So one is talking about the future, one is talking about the past. Analyst is talking about the past, कि past में क्या हुआ है. The data scientist is talking about the future, कि future में क्या होगा. Then for data analyst, again, it should not be considered, but it is the fact that the analyst will be getting less pay and they will be having less experience. They will have less exposure to work on the technology. And wherein for data scientists, more pay is there because they will be working on more complex systems and technologies, more advanced technology they might be working on. So there will be more experience or exposure, you can say, that they would be getting. So an analyst job is basically to get the business administration tasks. So talking to the business stakeholder, what is the problem they are trying to solve, formulating the question, then converting that problem into the data science problem, and then doing the exploratory data analysis. The one that I said, what happened in the past, it's part of a exploratory data analysis, which we call EDA. And one more thing, that data scientists can do the job of data analyst and data scientist as well, but data analyst cannot do the job of data scientist. So you can say a data analyst falls under the umbrella of data scientist as well. So a data scientist would be performing the machine learning algorithm or some of the advanced algorithm, and then he might be building the product as well. He might be in touch with the product team, and then he might be working on the CI/CD pipeline when how to push the update to the server and all of that part. So that is a bit complex part, but he will be working directly with the product team as well, that how the algorithm which he has built should be integrated with the application. Anyways, so again, these are the differences which talks about the yearly salaries according to the United States. What is the yearly salary of a data scientist and data analyst, or you can say business analyst as well. So there is a big difference between the business analyst and a data scientist, data analyst. Bit difference, I would say. So business analyst is more related to the business part, more talking to the business stakeholder, the teams and all. That is more related to that. And data analyst is more about the data. He is dealing with the data gathering, data collection. All that part is done by him. So 5-year growth prediction. So there is a 20% growth that is forecasted for this particular period. So there is a 20% growth that is forecasted for this particular period in next 5 years. And in this case, there is a 12% growth. You can say the future projection. The analysis, you can say future business requirement and the large amounts of data. What exactly they do? So they analyze the business requirements, they analyze the large data sets that are available to them. So value to the management. So basically analysis is more about presenting, putting the data in the form of story and then storytelling. He should be very good with the storytelling. He should be very good with the visualization part, that which visualization should I be using at this point and what not, how to present this data in a better way, how to make this understand to the end user in a simpler way. So that is all about the data analyst or business analyst, you can say. So preparing information for presenting information to the management. So he does the preparation part, the data scientist. Sometimes they also present, depending on the company they might be working on. In startup, the data scientist does all the job of a data analysts, business analysts sometimes as well, and the data scientists as well. But in MNCs, they have different job roles, that one is only working on the data part, the other guy is only working on the machine learning model building part, or maybe other guy is working on the business gathering and all of that part. So key change, what exactly the role is? So they are the change enabler and they are the creative data solution. So they basically build creative solution using the data. So data ko use karke they will be building some kind of model which can be used by the data analyst to present, which can be used by the product team, to integrate that with the product, which can be used by the customer as well to enjoy the benefit of that particular product. Now coming to the tools, the कौन से tools are used. So there are ton of tools you would find which are used in the data science field, ton of tools. And if you learn all of these, then there will be next day there will be other tools as well that you might have to use. So I will talk about few of them. So such as Python. So language, you can use any language to implement data science, machine learning को implement करने के लिए कोई भी language आप use कर सकते हैं. But if you ask what is the easiest one, so easiest one can be Python and R. So the statistician who are in the statistics field, guys, please put yourself on mute. Mayank? Okay. So data science or machine learning can be implemented किसी भी language को use करके, but the easiest way to do it is going to be Python. So you can use Python or R. So I would recommend Python because if you go and read the job descriptions, you will find Python there. So Python can be there, it can be used. So the development tools which are called as IDEs, because you need to write your code somewhere. So अपने code को write करने के लिए you need some kind of scripting, tool which can be used to write your code. So these are the tools. So it is up to you whichever tool you want to use. They are just simply serving the purpose of converting the code that you are writing to the machine learning, code, which is the binary language, and the computer will understand, and then the computer will return you the output that will be displayed on your terminal on these tools. So just like if you are taking a maths class or science class, you need a notebook. In the same way, if you are doing coding, so you need a development tool for somebody who doesn't have a coding background. I'm just telling, putting this out for somebody who doesn't have this background. So data integration tools, so there can be different data integration tools जिससे कि data को connect करा जाएगा. So these are some of them, like SQL Server is there and ton of other tools are there. Some of the cloud servers are also available to us. Then data visualization के लिए, again, there are different tools that are available, but you can say the most used one are your Excel. Excel is used a lot and it is one of the oldest tool which is used for the analysis part, and also the Power BI. So Power BI, it's a visualization tool which is used for building the dashboards, or you can say reports, which can be seen by the end user, which is going to be a dynamic report, like the report you can say which you see if you have a YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube studio, you will find the same dashboard built for you, which talks about what is the source of your traffic, how many views you have gotten, X video, Y video, or what is the watch time, all those information. So that is kind of a dashboard which is built. A simple example if I give you, so on your car you have a dashboard. So your dashboard tells you what is the speed of the car, how much oil you have in your car, what is the temperature, all that information is displayed at one single place. So that is a dashboard. So that is something, if I want to build something like that, so I will be using Power BI. There is other tools as well, such as Tableau, so that can be used. So these tools are, you can say, are the leaders in these two industries of visualization. So some of the data scientists also use these tools. So tools for ML and AI. So if I am using, deep learning, you can say, so this is the library. So all these codes, you can say, all these functions, they are already written, because as I said, it's a mathematical function that we are trying to use. They are already written in these set of libraries. We just have to understand their working, how exactly they work, and then how to implement them. So these are the libraries in which these functions are already written, such as TensorFlow, XGBoost, Anaconda, H2AI. So H2AI, it's something you can say which is related to AutoML, which is like automatic machine learning, in which you don't have to do anything. You just have to feed the data. The rest of the things will be done by the algorithm itself. So it is also in the demand as of now, but not a lot of people prefer to use or to write their own algorithm instead of relying on AutoML. Then data platform. So as I said, it can be a NoSQL databases or it can be SQL databases. So these are some of them. So these are the tools which are there, you can say, for your data science. And in the industry, if I talk about the data science, machine learning कौन सी industry में use होती है, so these are the industries wherein, or you can say the use cases as well, point it down कि किस industry में किस तरीके से वो use होती है. So I'll come to this, later on once we understand, bit of it. So then I'll come to the same. So for now, if I talk about the different part of analysis कितनी तरह का होता है, कितनी तरह की analytics होती है. So there are different parts of analytics. So something called as so it talks about difficulty. So if you see, the difficulty scale is increasing and the value scale is also increasing. The kind of value, the kind of analysis that you will perform, the different value the customer or the end client will be getting from you. So descriptive analytics, what exactly this talks about? This talks about what exactly happened. So it's about information. And the difficulty, I mean, it's pretty simple to perform descriptive analytics. So that is also a job of data analyst who does this task. Then diagnostic analytics, it's again used in a lot of industries. If somebody is from the machine or mechanical industry, so diagnostic analytics is used in the mechanical industry. It is used in the medical industry. That how or why did this happen? How exactly this pipe busted out, how exactly this machine went to this high high temperature that it got this XYZ problem. So it talks about the same, that why did this happen. This is a diagnostic analytics. Then there is something called as predictive analytics, that what will happen in the future. So you can say these two parts of the analyst, and these parts are of a scientist or a machine learning engineer, you can say. So predictive analytics, what will happen in the future, how can we make it happen. So again, it's related to recommendation, giving recommendation people, that how can we make it happen. So finding out why did this happen, giving reason to the person. So if I build some kind of an app, if you tell me what exactly you eat, how much you run, what is your weight, what is your height, all of that. So I will show you some statistics that compare to rest of the population that you are living in, what is your stats according to them. So that is a descriptive analytics that I'm trying to show you. Diagnostic analytics, then what I can do, I can diagnose, I can run some diagnostic, I can run some tests and then show you some results, that there are chances that you might develop, or after doing the diagnostic analytics, then I'll come to this particular part, that after performing the diagnostic analytics, what I feel, there are high chances that you might develop X disease, Y disease, Z disease, or whatever. Then if I want you to prevent developing these disease, then I will also prescribe you something, that these are the things that you need to do. And we see all these things being used in our real life. So when I went to the doctor will perform, first of all, the descriptive analytics on me. He will ask questions and I will answer him, that what is the fever, how do you feel, do you have any body ache, or whatever. So he will ask the questions, and that is part of descriptive analytics, asking questions, jotting down all those values. And then using those questions, he will try to perform the diagnostics based on his experience, based on his domain knowledge, based on the use cases that he has seen. He will perform the diagnostic analysis on top of that. Now, after performing the diagnostic analytics, then what he will do, he will perform the predictive analytics. So he will tell that this is going to happen, that you have developed this X disease or Y disease, and it is going to get more severe, and that is why you need to take all these medicines. So he will recommend you some of the medicines. So ye medicine aap le lo, you might get better. And then you don't get better, then you went to him again. So he will recommend you something else, that aap maybe in exercises ko karo, then you might get better. So you can see we are going from information se lekar ke we are going to the optimization part, कि अच्छा मैं ठीक तो हो गया डॉक्टर साहब, बट मुझे बताओ कि फ्यूचर में मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम ना हो तो ऐसी कौन सी चीज मैं करूं. ही विल टेल यू फ्यू थिंग्स कि आप ये एक्सरसाइज करो, आप ये मत खाओ, आप ये चीज मत करो, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. So that is the optimization part. So again, the difficulty level and the domain knowledge and the experience and the data that we need will increase when we are performing all these tasks. And also you can see the value is increasing for a customer, that उसको कोई बताए अगर कि आप अगर ये चीजें नहीं करोगे so आपको शायद ये disease ना हो. So it is a it has a lot of value. Instead अगर मैं उसको बताऊं कि भाई वो बाकियों के comparatively उसका जो weight है वो overweight चल रहा है, या उसकी height कम है, या जो भी है, उसका शुगर लेवल ज्यादा है, या उसका BMI इंडेक्स कम है, all that information. So it is less value to him. Obviously it has some values as well, but it has a less value compared to something which I tells him कि okay ये चीज अगर आप कर लेंगे, so there is a high possibility that you might do this and that, or you might get yourself prevented from this particular disease. Anyways, now predictive analytics के steps क्या हैं? What are the steps that we follow in case of predictive analytics? So first of all, obviously defining the project, describing and recording the business in what exactly the business is looking for, understanding the project, you can say what exactly we have to predict. Next part, in order to perform this project, क्या क्या चीजें मुझे जरूरी हैं, क्या क्या data की requirement I need to collect all that particular data with me. So data collection जो है, that is the second part. Then obviously performing the data analysis. So before building model, now you'll see, before building any model, before building any predictive model, or before deploying it, the first thing that we do, obviously after collecting data, after gathering the business requirement, we perform the data analysis on top of that. So data analysis perform करेंगे and planning the structure of the analytics data cubes, किस तरीके से हम data पे analysis perform करेंगे, क्या क्या questions होंगे, किस तरीके से हमारा data कहाँ पे store होगा, कैसे उसको हम extract करेंगे, that is all part of data analysis. Then data modeling. So developing a modeling method and procedure or the environment. So data को किस तरह से हम model करेंगे, क्या क्या machine learning उसमें model use करा जाए जिससे we get the desired result what we are looking for. And then data evaluation. So उसको check करने के लिए, predictive को check करने के लिए कि जो मैंने modeling technique use करी है वो कितना अच्छा perform कर रही है, कितना बुरा perform कर रही है. Finding, you can say, the accuracies, or finding the redundancy in the system, or finding the errors in the system की क्या system की क्या downside है, क्या problem है system में. And after we are done with this, then we can simply do the deployment. So deployment means putting it in the cloud so that we can serve it to the end user in the form of some kind of an application. So like application of predictive analytics is something, you can say you get some kind of recommendation. So Google recommend you something. So it's also kind of Google is predicting that you might like this particular article. Google is recommending you an ad that you might like this particular ad. YouTube is recommending you a video, that is also part of a predictive analytics. They have predicted that you would like this particular video, and that's why they've recommended you this particular video. And you might use it, you might not use it, that is a different story, but that is what they have predicted. It can be true, it cannot be true. So if you want to model which has the intelligence of taking its own decisions and the ability to modify it with a dynamic parameter. So now I think you would be able to relate this one, that what is the difference between static modeling, so and what is the difference between the predictive modeling. So it will change based on the data points, based on the input that you receive, based on the dynamic parameters. If it changes, then the model or the prediction will automatically change. The kind of video that that the model will recommend to the 18-year-old, and the kind of video he will recommend to the guy who is 55 or 60, 68 or 39, so that will be different because both of them might be having different tastes. And this relatively new field, it's all about providing advice, you can say, or the way doctors provide advice online. So there are apps which are into the system, which are in working, that you talk to the doctors online, and it's not even a human being which is sitting there, it's a chatbot which is built, which is using some kind of machine learning, NLU and all, which is giving you some kind of recommendation or advice that these are the disease which you might have, these are the XYZ medicine which you can take. Okay, so the best example of this is Google self-driving car. So Google, that is the best example itself, that Google self-driving car, it's able to adjust according to the environment that it is in. Tesla, you can say, based on the traffic that it is in, it will adjust the settings, that at what speed it need to go, how exactly the brake should be applied, all of that part. Now machine learning for making prediction. So machine learning, again, it's a method of data analysis and automate the analytics model building, and it is a branch of artificial intelligence based on the idea that system can learn from the data. So if I give you a lot of data points, then you might definitely come up with a pattern in your brain. You say that I found this pattern, but there is some kind of mathematical equation जो आपने शायद find करी है, और उसको use करके you can find the output, maybe the prediction. So making decision with minimal human intervention, that is the whole point of doing all these tasks, or exploring this particular field, that ऐसी क्या चीजें करें हम जिससे कि human intervention को हम reduce कर दें. Because if there is a human intervention, then there can be chances of error, but if we are using system, then we can say there can be less chances of errors. Obviously there can be different types of problem, अलग तरह की problems होंगी. that can be solved, but human intervention जहाँ पे आ गई, then वहाँ पे कुछ अलग तरह की problems आएंगी, which we might not be able to solve. So machine learning को we can use for pattern discovery. So if you don't have a parameter based on which you can make a prediction, so अगर हमें पता ही नहीं कि हमें prediction किस चीज के basis पे करनी चाहिए, then you need to find out the hidden pattern. So maybe then we can find the hidden pattern within the data set. So maybe मेरे पास एक data है, let's say, which is the data of let's say Walmart or any XYZ supermart. So उस डेटा में क्या prediction करूं मैं? What prediction should I make? Of course I can make the prediction कि future में शायद क्या sale forecast होगी. But what if I can find the hidden groups and then based on that I can recommend something. So let's say if I can find a person who is buying X, maybe X product, then I can recommend him Y product as well. So there is an example. If you go on the internet, if you type Target, how exactly Target is using machine learning or data science, you will find this over there. So basically what exactly happened, so I don't exactly remember the name of the product, but Target was collecting all the data and how exactly the placement of the product on their stores, and they find out there is during one Halloween time, I guess, there is one product which is X or Y cookies that was sold. People were buying a lot of that with another product, Y product, let's say. So there were X, when somebody is buying X product, then he is definitely buying Y product. And with the placement also matters. So the product supposed to be placed in the front. So whenever somebody enters, so he will definitely buy, whenever he buy the X product, he will buy the Y product. How can we increase the chances for the same? They've seen that if the product placement is in the front of the store. So what they've analyzed, that the sales was very, it was picking up in different stores, and they've analyzed that they are not getting good sales in some of the stores. And then they figured out what is the placement of that product, that X product, in the different stores in which they are getting the sales. And they figured this out, okay, if we place this product in the front of the store, then we might able to attract more of the customers. And that's what they did, and with the help of that they were able to achieve a lot of sales. You can go and Google about it later on after end of the session, how exactly Target used it in their store. You'll find this very good article. Same thing Walmart does. And also, so exactly what we are doing, so this is something hidden which is not told to us, which we are not even aware कि चीज वहां पे present है, but still we are able to find the same. Okay, so this is nothing but unsupervised learning model. So basically unsupervised learning models हैं ये, जहाँ पे हमें actually पता नहीं कि what is going to be the target, but still we are trying to find some clusters out of it, some groups out of it, which we can use. The most common algorithm is the clustering, you can say. So if I have, let's say, the banking data, so banking का data मेरे पास 10,000 customers हैं, so I can cluster them into different groups. उनके मैं अलग-अलग groups जो है वो create कर सकता हूँ using some of the clustering algorithm. And then obviously अगर मैं उनके clusters बनाऊंगा, so I will give them, if I have built different clusters, so I will give them different, you can say, maybe लोन के लिए अलग-अलग चीजें मैं ऑफर करूंगा. अगर एक X group of customers हैं, एक Y group of customers हैं, उनको let's say I will give them to one group of customers, I might offer a credit card which is of 5 lakh, which has a 5 lakh limit. To somebody I might offer a credit card which has a limit of only 50,000, because I think they can only afford to pay 50,000 back. Anyways, so Atul, please put yourself on mute. So how the model works, so basically it implement the insight into your business, analyze the segments, you can say कि किस तरह से वो यूज हो रहा है. कोई चीज मैंने एक सिंपल सी चीज ली, मैंने उसको इंप्लीमेंट करा आपकी एप्लीकेशन में, फिर उसको एनालाइज करा, उसकी इंप्लीमेंटेशन को कितनी अच्छी इंप्लीमेंटेशन हो रही है, कितनी बुरी इंप्लीमेंटेशन हो रही है. Then segment the data according to the finding, and then data को मैंने अलग-अलग ग्रुप्स में basically divide कर दिया, and then look for the patterns and similarities. तो अलग-अलग ग्रुप्स में divide करने के बाद then I will try to find the similarities in those groups, and then I will clean the data from the noise. So if there is any noise which is present in my data, so I'll try to clean it and then gather the incoming data or the existing data, and then I will repeat the same process. So that is what happens in case of unsupervised learning, जहां पे हम पैटर्न्स को फाइंड करने की कोशिश करते हैं. Now a spectrum of data science, again कि एप्लीकेशन, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट बिजनेस वैल्यू सेम चीज है, बट यहाँ पे हमारे पास क्या आ गई, थोड़ी चीजों को थोड़ा सा अलग तरीके से मैंने रिप्रेजेंट कर दिया जॉब रोल वाइज कि किस तरह से कौन कौन से पार्ट में क्या क्या चीजें होती हैं. So first of all we have the role of reporting, जहाँ पे डेटा को, because अगर हम डेटा को गैदर ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, there can be no data science, there can be no machine learning, there can be no data analytics. The first part is obviously reporting, data को report करना, उसको collect करना. So that is obviously the low level job which is of MIS, data को gather करना, store करना, उस पे अलग अलग formulas लगा के उसको store करके रखना, and उस पे फिर maybe analysis perform करना. So depending on the business कितना complex है, कितना simple है, उसके accordingly some of them would be using MIS as well as a tool. So it is a tool which is used, you can say from many years in the industry. MIS executive जो कि इस पे काम करते हैं basically. Then business intelligence, which is about dashboarding, you can say, or you can say about data visualization. Then there is a concept of data or predictive analytics, which is about predictive, or you can say which is about prediction, statistical model building, forecasting, future को forecast करना. Then there is the machine learning को use करना या maybe neural network को use करना. So I'll come to neural network for now. Let's say this is a fancy term and deep learning is also related to the same. So you can say कि जब मैं कह रहा हूँ machine learning क्या है, machine learning is also kind of a function. We are trying to find a function f of x which is obviously dependent on some xyz variable. It can be a linear equation, it can be a non-linear equation. वो मैं machine learning में find कर रहा हूँ. So let's say वो एक बहुत simple equation है. It can have 2 variable, 3 variable, 4 variable, 10 variable, 20 variable. But when I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of variables, millions of variables, और वहां पर भी I'm forming a non-linear equation. So that is when I'm talking about the neural network. Again, both of them, दोनों में क्या चीज use हो रही है? They are using again your neural network. Artificial intelligence की application अगर देखें तो it is used in the chatbots and also it is used in some of the robots as well. Artificial intelligence. So basically that is the whole point, that is the whole aim कि हमें कुछ intervention करनी ना पड़े. यहाँ पे जो चीजें हम कर रहे हैं over here, what exactly we are doing? So this is a cognitive intelligence. So cognitive intelligence मतलब human is doing some kind of work. उन्होंने एक model build करा, they deployed that model, now that is being used. So हमने पहले model को train करा intelligence develop करने के लिए, उसको एक मैथमेटिकल फंक्शन ड्राइव करके दिया या जो भी है वो सारी चीजें उसको प्रोवाइड करी. नाउ इट इज यूजिंग दैट एज एन इंटेलिजेंस. बट व्हाट इज आवर होल, हम करना क्या चाहते हैं? वी वांट टू अचीव दिस आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जहां पे ह्यूमन डोंट हैव टू डू एनीथिंग, वहां पे उसे कुछ ना करना पड़े. द सिस्टम वुड बी एबल टू लर्न, इट वुड बी एबल टू डू इंटरप्रिटेशन, इट वुड बी एबल टू मेक डिसीजंस. So that is the point where we are trying to achieve. But for now you can see the applications such as chatbots jahan pe there is nobody sitting behind the chatbot, but some aap baat kar rahe ho usse, you feel like you're talking to a human being. Also the robotics, in case of robots that you see, Microsoft ki jo ek robot thi, I don't remember the name actually. What was the name? It was I think last year. Prescriptive Analytics, prescribe करना medicine basically, किसी को रिकमेंडेशन करना कि कैसे वो अच्छा, जैसे विराट कोहली की एग्जांपल लें अगर प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव एनालिटिक्स के लिए, तो प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिटिक्स में की एग्जांपल क्या होगी कि विराट कोहली एक्स मैच में कितने स्कोर कर सकता है. दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ व्हाट, दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिटिक्स. प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव एनालिटिक्स क्या है कि वी वांट विराट कोहली टू स्कोर लेट्स से 55 रन्स इन एक्स मैच. सो हाउ कैन वी मेक हिम स्कोर 55 रन्स? ऐसी क्या चीजें करें कि जिससे वो 55 स्कोर कर पाए. So that is the part of prescriptive analytics. कि मुझे क्या करना है, I want to lose weight, let's say of 10 kilos. Yeah, Sophia, yes, exactly, Sophia of Microsoft. So that is the example of robot, you can say. So when you will talk to her, you don't feel like you're talking to a robot. Obviously, if you see her, you will realize. But let's say you are doing it over the call. So yeah, I was talking about the prescriptive analytics. So prescriptive के लिए जैसे कि I went to the gym and there is a machine which is there or an algorithm which is in place. So I give him my specifications and the machine will tell me if I want to lose, let's say my weight is 75, I want to reduce my weight to 65. So what are the things that I should be doing to go back to 65? So the system should recommend me the the diet, what diet I should be following, or you can say what exercises I should be doing, what will be the timing for all of those things and all of that. Misty was the name, an extensible robot powered by Microsoft. I don't remember about this, but I definitely do know a little bit about Sophia. Okay. 2019. Yes, I think, yeah, it was in 2019. Sophia was, there was some kind of carnival that happened in Chandigarh. So that's where Sophia came in. Okay, anyways, coming back to the topic, we will talk about this at the end of the session, guys. Let's not divert. So let's see. So Python for data science. So give me 5 minutes, guys, and then I'll be right back. Not 5 minutes, I think 1 or 2 minutes. Then I'll be right back, and then I'll start talking about the Python for data science. I just need a glass of water, then we can start. Do the same. You can grab a glass of water, and then we'll start. I guess we can start. I hope you have your water bottle, your coffee, or whatever tea you would like with yourself. I think we can start. Okay, let's start then. So now let's talk about Python for data science. So Python for data science. So Python finds a wide range of application for data analysis. So Python is simply a programming language. I hope everybody knows that. It's a language which is written high level language, you can say. I'll come to the advantages of using it in a bit. But for now, you can say it's a language which is used in case of data science, deep learning, machine learning, data analysis use cases, if I'm solving any one of them. So it's a language of choice for large portion of the data science community because of the various tools which make it easier to work with and use data set and gain insightful insights. So it has a lot of libraries with which you can even read the terabytes of data, which is large in size, obviously, which is available at some XYZ cloud location. You can read different formats such as your CSV file, Excel file. You can read data from the APIs, अलग-अलग websites, so you can read out the data and then you can perform the analysis. तो Python में है, there are different libraries, बहुत सारी libraries available हैं, such as NumPy, Pandas, and extensively used for the collection, processing, and cleaning. Because and model building is, you can say it's the last part, obviously before deployment, but before that we need to do the the data collection first of all, कि data को collect कैसे करा जाए, उसको read कैसे करा जाए, उसको process कैसे करा जाए, उसको clean कैसे करा जाए. इसमें से मेरे डेटा में भी कुछ वैल्यूज जो हैं they are missing, उनको remove कैसे करूं मैं उन वैल्यूज को. तो उसके लिए we use these libraries such as NumPy, Pandas extensively. Okay, so another aspect of Python is that it has a great tool for data scientists and robust visualization. So इसमें हमारे पास we have these libraries available to us, which is Matplotlib and Seaborn. So these libraries we can use in order to build visualization. अगर आपको line graph build करना है, if you want to build pie chart, अगर आपको histogram build करना है, कोई भी chart which you can think of in your brain, that can be built using these two libraries, I would say. Now as I said, जो भी मैंने बोला library के form में, these are all those libraries. जैसे Keras is there, sklearn is there. तो अगर मुझे machine learning का model use करना है, so I can use sklearn library. If I want to implement visualization, so I can use matplotlib. If I want to do scientific computing, उसके लिए I can use scipy. So if I want to apply deep learning models, so I can use PyTorch, I can use TensorFlow, I can use Keras, I can use PyCaret. If I want to do analysis, then what I can do, I can use your pandas. If I want to do any numerical operation, I can use NumPy. If I want to build great visualization, so I can maybe use Plotly. So these are the libraries. So now features of Python, that it is high level language है, simple to read. अगर मैं इसके syntax को read करूँगा, code को read करूँगा, so it will look like an English language. Open source, that open source मतलब anybody can contribute to it. So it's open source if you are allowed कि मतलब कोई भी इसमें contribution कर सकता है. ऐसा नहीं कि there are set of developers who are working on it. So it has a huge community. So if you want to contribute, अगर आप चाहते हैं कि maybe ये नया feature इसमें add होना चाहिए, so you can contribute as well if you want to. Then it can be used for GUI programming. So GUI is like graphical user interfaces if you want to build. So कोई application mobile के लिए, Windows के लिए कोई applications if you want to build, so that can be built with the help of GUIs. ठीक है, जैसे कि calculator में भी, student management system, library management system, music player, paint, notepad or whatever. So वो सारे system you can build with the help of GUIs. So guys, I'm not audible.
You are audible.
Reno is having problem, I guess.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
You are audible
Yes,
to
you're
everyone,
audible
sir.
now.
Okay, great. So as I said, it has a standard set of libraries, large standard set of libraries are available to us, which we can use. Expressive languages, it is object oriented. So I think some of you might be aware about object oriented programming. So it's an approach that we create a class in which is going to be the, the object, you can say simply, it's the representation of the real world entity. So in the real world, we have different objects like your bottle, your mobile phone, your laptop, your computer, your bag, car, whatever. So they are your objects. So in the similar way, if you want to create them in programming, so we need to know about object-oriented programming. So it uses interpreter. So in order to convert the code that you write in English language or in the syntax of Python, उस code को convert करने के लिए it uses interpreter. And it is a platform independent. So it doesn't matter if you're using it on Linux, if you are using it on Mac, if you are using it on the Windows, the code will be the same. Okay, now let's talk about machine learning. What is machine learning? So machine learning talks about what is and why it matters. So let's see. So machine learning is the method of data analysis that automates analytical model building. So it basically does some kind of automation to the model building. We build some kind of model, we give some kind of brain, you can say, or in simple term, we provide a mathematical equation. We help the system to drive a mathematical equation which it can use in order to give recommendation to somebody. This is the branch of artificial intelligence based on the idea that system can learn from the data. So even if I give you large data, so let's say if I give you two values, let's say I say ki, this is my x, this is my y. So x is 10, y is 15, x is 15, y is 20, x is 20, y is 25. And if I give you this data, continuously feed this data to you, so you will come up with some equation. Okay, how exactly your x is dependent on y, how y is dependent on x. Then you might say, okay, if I do x plus 5, simple equation, if I do x plus 5, I will be able to compute y. So if I get unknown x, let's say I got unknown x as 55. So you will say, okay, the y value will be equals to 60 in this particular case. So in the same way, you might have heard of linear equations. Y is equal to mx plus c, which is the equation of line itself. So that equation is also used. So that is also used in some of the, you can say, linear equations or linear model. When we are using a linear model, जब दो variable के बीच में linear relation है, linear relation means अगर एक वेरिएबल इंक्रीज करता है उसके साथ साथ दूसरा वेरिएबल भी इंक्रीज करता है. अगर हाइट इंक्रीज हो रही है किसी की तो वेट भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है. सो दैट मीन विल से कि दोनों के बीच में पॉजिटिव लीनियर रिलेशन लाई कर रहा है। सो इन जनरल प्रोग्रामिंग क्या डिफरेंस है मशीन लर्निंग में? जनरल प्रोग्रामिंग में क्या करते हैं हम, वी हैव द डेटा एंड देन वी डिफाइन द रूल्स फॉर द डेटा for whatever output we are looking for. We write the rules. Brute force rule हम लिखते हैं, if else multiple if else statements आप लिखते हैं कि अगर ये होगा, अगर डेटा में ये फीचर होगा then ये आउटपुट आनी चाहिए, ये होगा तो ये आउटपुट आनी चाहिए. You write multiples of conditions. And in machine learning what we do, you give the data and you tell what is the data meant for. So if I let's take a simple example कि we are given with some numbers, we have to find whether it is an even number or odd number. Simple example. So you will write the data. So you have the data 4, 6, 9, 7, whatever. Some numbers are there. So you have the data, that is your input, and you write some rules. अच्छा कोई number अगर 2 से divisible होगा तो वो even number है. And then you get the output. Then you write your output अच्छा divisible होगा, then आ जाए वहाँ पे even, अगर नहीं होगा तो odd आ जाए. अब machine learning के use case में क्या होगा कि आपको पता है कि ये जो है ये even number. आप बताओगे system को ये even number है जी, ये ऑड नंबर है, ये इवन है, ये ऑड है, ये इवन है, ऑड। तो आपने सिस्टम को क्या देना, डेटा दिया यानी इनपुट दिया एंड देन यू फीड द आउटपुट। ऑब्वियसली लेट द सिस्टम डिसाइड कि इसके रूल्स क्या होने वाले हैं। फॉर सिंपल एग्जांपल अगर मशीन लर्निंग के दूं, जैसे लेट्स इमेजिन अ किड ऑफ 5 years old, एक 5 year old का किड है एंड वी आर ट्राइंग टू मेक हिम अंडरस्टैंड अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन एप्पल एंड लेट्स से टोमेटो। तो हम उसको रोज दिखाएं वो टोमेटो, बोलें कि अच्छा ये टोमेटो है, ये एप्पल है, ये टोमेटो है, ये एप्पल है, ये टोमेटो है, एप्पल है। हम उसको रोज ना बताएं कि हाउ दीज टू आर डिफरेंट, बट आफ्टर सम टाइम, आफ्टर सम डेज ही विल बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई द रूल्स। वो रूल्स आइडेंटिफाई कर लेगा। आप उससे पूछोगे रूल्स क्या हैं, कैसे उसने आइडेंटिफाई करा, मे बी वो आपको ना बता पाए, बट उसके ब्रेन में वो रूल्स जो है वो फीड हो चुके हैं, विच ही इज गोइंग टू यूज व्हेनेवर यू विल शो हिम एंड टेल यू कि क्या ये टोमेटो है या क्या ये एप्पल है। मे बी इनिशियली वो दोनों को सेम बोलेगा कि अच्छा ये टोमेटो है, ये एप्पल है, चाहे वो एप्पल हो और उसको टोमेटो बोल रहा हो। सो इन द सेम वे, सो बेसिकली डेटा रूल्स, यू डिफाइन द डेटा इन द रूल्स। जनरल प्रोग्रामिंग यही करते आ रहे थे हम, एंड देन वी गेट द आउटपुट। बट अब हम क्या कर रहे हैं, अब हम कर रहे हैं बेसिकली डेटा देते हैं आपको, आउटपुट देते हैं, बताओ। तो लेट्स से एलिजिबल कोई वोटिंग के लिए एलिजिबल होगा या नहीं होगा, तो उसके लिए हमने क्या रूल्स लिख दिए कि अच्छा हमारे पास कोई बंदा आएगा, उसको हम चेक करेंगे उसकी एज कितनी है, उसकी एज अगर ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 18 हुई तो वो एलिजिबल है, उसको अंदर जाने दो आप। या उसके बाद चेक कर लो, दो चीजें कर लो आप, एक तो उसकी एज चेक कर लो, एक उसके बाद चेक कर लो वोटर कार्ड है या नहीं। एक और चीज, कोई भी एक्स वाई चीज, एक और चीज कर लो आप, क्या वो उसके पास इसी रीजन का वोटर कार्ड है या नहीं। 3 कंडीशन लगा दी आपने, रूल्स में आपके वो आ गया, और उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपने उसको अलाउ करा वोट देने के लिए या आपने उसको अलाउ नहीं करा। इस केस में क्या हुआ, आपके पास डेटा आया और आपके पास बहुत सारे लोग आ गए कि ये अलाउ हुए थे, ये लोग अलाउ नहीं हुए थे, ये लोग अलाउ हुए थे, ये लोग अलाउ नहीं हुए थे, वगैरह वगैरह। फिर उस डेटा को आपने प्रोसेस करा एंड देन एट द एंड यू विल हैव सर्टेन रूल्स, जिसको यूज करके आपका मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम would be able to tell you okay this person should be allowed or this person should not be allowed. तो वो machine learning in simple terms if I say. So again example कि लेबर डेटा, इफ आई गिव द लेबर डेटा, अगर मैं सिस्टम को बताऊं, जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा था यहाँ पे, सिस्टम को बताऊं कि ये जो है दिस इज टॉम, दिस इज टॉम, दिस इज टॉम, दिस जेरी, डू द डेटा क्लीनिंग, डेटा को उस तरीके से फॉर्मेट करूं सिस्टम को समझ आए, देन उस पे एडीए परफॉर्म करूं, एक्सप्लोरेटरी डेटा एनालिसिस परफॉर्म करूं, देन उसको मैं एल्गोरिथम में पास करूं एंड देन मॉडल को इवैल्यूएट करूं। सो मॉडल क्या कर पाए, मेरे को बता पाए कि अच्छा एक जो इमेज है, गिवन वन इमेज, क्या ये इमेज जेरी की है या क्या ये इमेज टॉम की है। सो दिस इज अ सिंपल एग्जांपल ऑफ मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल बिल्डिंग की मॉडल बिल्डिंग किस तरह से होगी। सो बेसिकली हम क्या करेंगे, लेट्स से इफ आई हैव 1000 एग्जांपल्स, सो उसमें से क्या करूंगा मैं, आई विल यूज 700 एग्जांपल्स फॉर ट्रेनिंग माय मॉडल and I will use 300 to test my model. So let's say, इसको मॉडल को छोड़ो आप, let's say you have an exam and आपको आपके टीचर ने बोला कि ये 1000 क्वेश्चंस हैं, 1000 क्वेश्चन में से ही पेपर आना है। तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, आपको रैंडमली 700 क्वेश्चन तैयार करवा देता हूँ, ठीक है, पेपर से पहले 700 क्वेश्चन मैं आपको करवाऊंगा, 300 क्वेश्चन आप कर लो, 300 क्वेश्चन आप खुद से करो और देखो आपको कितना समझ में आया। तो अगर आपने 300 क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छे से कर लिए तो इसका मतलब आप अच्छा परफॉर्म करोगे एग्जाम में, अगर नहीं कर पाए तो नहीं करोगे, सिंपल सी चीज है। बट अगर और इसमें अलग अलग यूज केसेस हो सकते हैं, फिर जो 700 क्वेश्चन टीचर ने करवाए थे वो तो आप बहुत अच्छे से कर पा रहे हो, बट जो 300 क्वेश्चन नहीं करवाए थे वो आप कर ही नहीं पा रहे, ठीक है। तो अलग अलग सिनेरियोज इसमें बन सकते हैं, वो अलग अलग कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं हैं, वो अभी बात करने का उनका मतलब नहीं है, बट दीज आर द यूज केसेस व्हिच कैन एग्जिस्ट। देन एग्जांपल्स देखें, अगर मशीन लर्निंग की एग्जांपल्स देखें तो सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स, यू कैन से इट्स not really using machine learning, but again it falls under the umbrella of machine learning, deep learning use कर रहा है। predicting the illness कि क्या इस person को illness होगी या नहीं होगी, that is also part of machine learning। you know, credit worthiness कि yes obviously the underfitting and overfitting condition, absolutely true। so credit worthiness कि इस पर्सन को क्रेडिट मिलना चाहिए या नहीं मिलना चाहिए, लोन मिलना चाहिए नहीं मिलना चाहिए, वो सारी चीजें उसमें आ जाएंगी आपकी। रैंकिंग ऑन सोशल मीडिया कि किसको रैंक करवाया जाए, कौन सी पोस्ट को ज्यादा वायरल करवाया जाए, कौन सी पोस्ट को ना वायरल करवाया जाए, ये पोस्ट वायरल होगी या नहीं होगी, वो सारी चीजें। देन सीवी इन एग्रीकल्चर, उस पे एग्रीकल्चर में अलग अलग चीजों को इंप्लीमेंट करना। फर्टिलाइजेशन की रिकमेंडेशन की मेरे पास ये क्रॉप है, अगर मैं आपको बताऊं देयर आर सिस्टम्स एज वेल व्हिच पीपल हैव बिल्ट कि अगर आप मुझे बताओ आपके सॉइल में कितना नाइट्रोजन है, कितने जो भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स होते हैं सॉइल के वो बताओ आप, देन आई वुड बी एबल टू रेकमेंड कि आप अपनी सॉइल में ये सारी क्रॉप्स उगाओ एंड आप अपने सॉइल में इन सारे फर्टिलाइजर्स का अगर आप यूज करते हैं तो यू कैन इंक्रीज द यील्ड। सो दैट्स हाउ इट इज यूज्ड इन द एग्रीकल्चर। टारगेटेड ईमेल कि ईमेल को स्पैम या हैम के फोल्डर में आप समझ लो, जो जीमेल ऑटोमेटिकली कर लेता है, जो भी कोई ईमेल आती है स्पैम होती है उसको स्पैम फोल्डर में डाल देता है, या जो ईमेल नहीं होती उसको नहीं डालता, उसको नॉर्मल आपके इनबॉक्स में लैंड करवाता है। Q&A बेस्ड प्लेटफॉर्म कि आप क्वेश्चन आंसर्स पूछ रहे हो सिस्टम से, आपको आंसर दे रहा है, उसमें भी 2-3 कैटेगरीज आती हैं, बट फॉर नाउ लेट्स जस्ट स्टिक टू इट कि आप क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो, वो आपको आंसर दे रहा है। देन इन द फैशन इंडस्ट्री कि वहां पर भी बहुत तरीके से उसको यूज करा जा सकता है मशीन लर्निंग को, ठीक है, कि ये प्रोडक्ट जो है ये बाकी लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं, इसको और लोगों को रेकमेंड करा जाए, वो सारी चीजें उसमें आ जाती हैं। जैसे मिंत्रा में अगर एक यूजर है X यूजर और एक यूजर है Y यूजर, दोनों ने एक प्रोडक्ट खरीदा X1, दोनों ने X1 प्रोडक्ट खरीदा, Y यूजर ने क्या करा, एक X2 प्रोडक्ट खरीदा, तो क्या करेंगे वो X2 प्रोडक्ट जो X1 जो X वाला यूजर है उसको रेकमेंड कर देंगे, क्योंकि बोथ ऑफ देम आर सिमिलर, उन दोनों का इंटरेस्ट उन्हें सिमिलर दिखा, तो मे बी शायद वो X2 प्रोडक्ट को भी खरीद ले जो सेकंड यूजर है। इस तरह से यूज होती है। नाउ मशीन लर्निंग में आगे डिविजन्स हैं कि मशीन लर्निंग किस डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मशीन लर्निंग इज देयर, जैसे सुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग है, जैसे अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग है, रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग भी है। सो इन रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग इट्स अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट which is quite complex to talk about. So I will not talk about this much, but I can talk about these two because you would be able to relate to these. So supervised learning के केस में भी बहुत सारे यूज केसेस हो सकते हैं, जैसे कि यहाँ पे बता रहा है कि आपको रिग्रेशन के यूज केसेस हो सकते हैं। जनरली दो ही तरह के होंगे सुपरवाइज के केस में, एक क्लासिफिकेशन का, एक रिग्रेशन का। तो रिग्रेशन माने कॉन्टिन्यूअस आउटपुट, जहां पे आपके पास कॉन्टिन्यूअस आउटपुट आ रही है, जैसे कि पॉपुलेशन की ग्रोथ क्या होगी वो फाइंड करना, जैसे कि एस्टिमेटिंग द लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी। तो लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी क्या होगी, कुछ भी हो सकती है, 40 साल, 50 साल, 60 साल, 70 साल, कुछ भी हो सकती है। मार्केट फॉरकास्टिंग कि मार्केट कहां तक जाएगा, क्या वैल्यू होगी, 14,500 जाएगा निफ्टी, या 15,000 जाएगा, या लेट्स से 14,200 जाएगा, 14,100 जाएगा, वगैरह वगैरह। वेदर फॉरकास्टिंग, वेदर क्या होगा, क्या स्पीड्स होंगी वगैरह, वो सारी चीजें। देन पॉपुलैरिटी एंड पॉपुलैरिटी प्रेडिक्शन की किस पर्सन की, X पर्सन की, Y पर्सन की कितनी पॉपुलैरिटी हो सकती है। तो यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे कॉन्टिन्यूअस वैल्यू, मतलब जो वैल्यू है दैट बिलोंग्स टू अ रियल नंबर, कुछ भी हो सकती है, दैट कैन बी स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 1 टू इनफिनिटी, कुछ भी हो सकती है। किसी केसेस में नहीं होगी, जैसे लाइफ इसके केस में अगर एज एक्सपेक्टेंसी हमें करनी है तो एक रेंज में होगी, चलो इट कैन बी इन रेंज, इट कैन बी आउट ऑफ द रेंज एज वेल। तो जहां पे कुछ फिक्स्ड वैल्यू नहीं है, जहां पे हमारे पास कॉन्टिन्यूअस आउटपुट है, दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ रिग्रेशन। जैसे कि ओला के केस में, ओला आपको बता रहा है कि आपका प्राइस क्या होगा, आप लोकेशन में भी पहुंचे भी नहीं हो, आप अभी कार में बैठ रहे हो, आपको पहले बता दिया उसने कि आपको ये पैसा पे करना होगा बेस्ड ऑन सर्टेन वेरिएबल, कि वहां पे कितनी कार्स अवेलेबल हैं, सबको पता है कितनी कार्स अवेलेबल हैं, क्या टाइमिंग है, पीक आवर्स हैं, वगैरह वगैरह। उन सारी चीजों को आइडेंटिफाई करके आप कार में बैठे बाद में आपको पहले बता दिया उसने कि आपको इतना पैसा पे करना है। अब वो हर बार चेंज होगा, मे बी रोज मैं सेम लोकेशन से सेम लोकेशन पे जाता हूँ, सेम टाइमिंग पे जाता हूँ, बट मे बी वो क्या करेगा, प्राइस चेंज करेगा। तो प्राइस क्या होगा, रिग्रेस हो रहा है, प्राइस कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे। इमेजिन योर ब्रेन लाइन, एक लाइन को आप इमेजिन करो अपने ब्रेन में, सो वो लाइन क्या कर रही है, जो लीनियर लाइन है, कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे फ्लोट कर रही है, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज रिग्रेशन। सो क्लासिफिकेशन का यूज केस क्या हो सकता है? डायग्नोस्टिक्स के केस में किस पर्सन को डिजीज होगा या नहीं होगा, तो यहाँ पे देखो होगा 5% होगा, चलो ये 5 होगा 10 होगा ये तो नहीं कह रहे ना, हम कह रहे हैं सिंपली होगा या नहीं होगा, यस और नो वाला यहाँ पे यूज केस आ रहा है। कस्टमर रिटेंशन, ये कस्टमर रिटेन रहेगा या नहीं रहेगा, यस और नो, अगेन ट्रू फॉल्स के केस में। इमेज क्लासिफिकेशन, क्या ये इमेज कैट की है? आईपीएल टीम विन, यस। कोई एक्स टीम विन करेगी लूज करेगी, यस नो, अगेन यहाँ पे यस नो का यूज केस आ गया। या आइडेंटिटी फ्रॉड होगा या नहीं होगा, जो ट्रांजैक्शन है फ्रॉड ट्रांजैक्शन है या नहीं है। अनसुपरवाइज के केसेस में क्या हो सकते हैं? अनसुपरवाइज के बहुत सारे यूज केसेस हैं जब हमारे पास अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा है, देन इन दैट केस जहां पे हमारे पास टारगेट अवेलेबल नहीं है। टारगेट मतलब जो हमने फाइंड करना, तो यहाँ पे टारगेट क्या है? यहाँ पे एज एक्सपेक्टेंसी टारगेट है, यहाँ पे मार्केट पहले क्या थी, मार्केट की वैल्यू वो टारगेट है, यहाँ पे वेदर पहले क्या था वो टारगेट है। उसको हम, क्योंकि मैंने क्या बताया, एक्स और वाई की प्रीवियस वैल्यू को देके फ्यूचर वैल्यू को निकालना है, तो वाई को क्या बोल रहा हूं मैं? टारगेट बोल रहा हूँ। सो मशीन लर्निंग में और अनसुपरवाइज लर्निंग में क्या आता है? रिकमेंडेशन की एग्जांपल की रिकमेंड करना। अब सिस्टम को नहीं पता आपको क्या वीडियो, आपने नहीं बताया कि मुझे ये वीडियो पसंद है, बट स्टिल इट इज रिकमेंडिंग यू समथिंग। आप कौन से न्यूज आर्टिकल पसंद करते हो, आपने शायद बताया हो कभी उसे सिस्टम को, बट स्टिल इट इज एबल टू फाइंड मोर वेज टू रिकमेंड यू समथिंग। कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन मैंने इसके बारे में पहले बताया, एचडीएफसी ये कोई भी बैंक एग्जांपल ले लो आप, उसके अलग अलग ग्रुप्स आप बना रहे हो, दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन। Then obviously there are other techniques you can say which are part of it, but these are quite complex, so I will not talk about them. Again कि यही चीजों को फिर से आपको बता रहा है कि यहाँ पर और एग्जांपल्स दे दी कि पॉपुलैरिटी के बारे में निकालना, डायग्नोस्टिक करना, इमेज क्लासिफिकेशन, ऑल ऑफ दैट। सो जनरली यू कैन से दो ही हैं टाइप्स मशीन लर्निंग में, एक सुपरवाइज एक अनसुपरवाइज्ड, ठीक है। तो सुपरवाइज में आगे डिवीजन है, दैट इज क्लासिफिकेशन एंड रिग्रेशन। क्लास रिग्रेशन क्या है? कॉन्टिन्यूस आउटपुट के लिए। क्लासिफिकेशन क्या है? आपको कि डिस्क्रीट आउटपुट, यही यस नो, इट मे बी 3 कैटेगरी 4 कैटेगरी 5 कैटेगरी हो सकती है आउटपुट में, वो सारी चीजें। यहाँ पर क्या है? जहाँ पे हमारे पास डेटा में टारगेट वेरिएबल कोई नहीं है, हमें नहीं पता कि टारगेट क्या हो सकता है, उस केस में यू कैन से कि अपना अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग कैन बी यूज्ड। एनीवेज मूविंग ऑन, supervised learning के example again, the purpose of this method for the algorithm is to able to learn by comparing its actual, जो मैंने भी बताया आपको, actual output with the taught output. So यहाँ पे आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करेंगे? जैसे आपको 300 क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए बोला, आपको पता कैसे लगेगा आपने सही करा गलत करा? ऑब्वियसली यू शुड हैव द आंसर। जब तक आपके पास आंसर नहीं होगा आपको पता कैसे लगेगा कि आपने सही परफॉर्म करा गलत परफॉर्म करा? सो यू विल कंपेयर योर आंसर विद द एक्चुअल आंसर। जो डिफरेंस होगा दैट इज द एरर व्हिच यू हैव टू रिड्यूस, उसको आपको रिड्यूस करना है। यू विल ट्रीट इट एज अ मिनिमाइजेशन प्रॉब्लम एंड यू विल ट्राई टू रिड्यूस दैट पर्टिकुलर एरर, उसको आप रिड्यूस करने की कोशिश करेंगे। Okay, so supervised learning therefore uses patterns to predict the labels on additional unlabeled data. So unlabeled data अगर है, जैसे यहाँ पे बताया कि labeled data मेरे पास आया, बताया मैंने सिस्टम को ये हेक्सागन है, ये ट्राइंगल है, ये पेंटागन है, मॉडल ने ट्रेन करा, मेरे को आउटपुट दे दी, देन मैंने इसको नया टेस्ट डेटा दिया, इस पे टेस्ट करके बताओ, टेस्ट भी कर लिया। उसके बाद क्या करा? और नया डेटा दिया। अब ये क्या था? 1000 में से था, जैसे 300 क्वेश्चन की एग्जांपल है, बट पेपर में शायद उन 1000 क्वेश्चन में से शायद एक आधा क्वेश्चन बाहर से आ जाए, उसमें आप कैसा परफॉर्म करोगे? वो अनसीन डेटा जो आपने कभी देखा ही नहीं, जिसका आंसर आपको पता ही नहीं है, इसका राइट आंसर क्या है, कंपेयर आप भी नहीं कर सकते, वो टीचर कंपेयर करके बताएगा आपको कितना सही है कितना गलत है एंड ऑल। अगेन रॉ डेटा था मेरे पास, एल्गोरिथम लगाया, प्रोसेसिंग करी, मॉडल को ट्रेन करा, एंड देन एट द एंड वी हैव द आउटपुट की ये क्या है, इज इट अ टोमेटो और इज इट अ एप्पल। Then next is your unsupervised learning. Guys, sound नहीं आ रहा क्या आपको? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
साक्षी को इशू है, I guess.
You are audible, sir.
One second, huh?
Sure.
Okay, so now unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning क्या है? The data is unlabeled, so learning algorithm is left to find commonalities among its output. जैसे let's say आपको क्या बोला टीचर ने, teacher appointed you as a CR of your class, or and teacher told you to do what? To do grouping of students. ग्रुपिंग ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आप करो, आपने पूछा कैसे, तो यू फिगर इट आउट, आप करो ग्रुपिंग करके दो। तो आपने पूछा टीचर को कितने ग्रुप्स बनाने टीचर, तो टीचर ने बोल दिया मे बी लेट्स से वो भी आप फिगर आउट करो कि कितने ग्रुप्स बन सकते हैं, या टीचर ने आपको बता दिया 3 ग्रुप्स बना लो। सो दिस टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम इज कॉल्ड एज अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग प्रॉब्लम, जहां पे आपको पता नहीं है कि कौन किस ग्रुप से बिलोंग करता है, उसको कैसे आप क्लस्टर करोगे, कैसे आप ग्रुप्स में डालोगे। आपको खुद से फिगर आउट करना है कि कितने ग्रुप्स इसमें बना सकता हूं मैं और कितने ग्रुप बन सकते हैं, वो सारी चीजें आपको फिगर आउट करनी है खुद से। एंड देन आप कैसे करेंगे, ग्रुप्स कैसे बनाएंगे, तो यू विल फाइंड ओके ये सारे जो बच्चे हैं ये पढ़ने वाले हैं, सिंपल इनको एक ग्रुप में डाल दो, ये सारे बच्चे क्या है ये खेलने वाले, इनको एक ग्रुप में डाल दो। और फिर मे बी आप और कॉमनैलिटीज, तो पहले आपने 2 ग्रुप्स बनाए, फिर आपने और कॉमनैलिटीज ढूंढी कि अच्छा ये एक्स स्पोर्ट को खेलते हैं, ये वाई स्पोर्ट को खेलते हैं, पढ़ने में इनका एक्स चीज में इंटरेस्ट है, इनका वाई चीज में इंटरेस्ट है, एंड सो ऑन। तो 2 बड़े बड़े ग्रुप्स बनाए, उनमें से आगे आगे आपने सब डिवीजन कर दी बेस्ड ऑन सम कॉमनैलिटीज, उनके बीच में क्या क्या चीजें कॉमन है उसको यूज करके यू फाइंड आउट द ग्रुप्स। सो दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग प्रॉब्लम। सो अनलेबल्ड डेटा आर मोर अबंडेंट, जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बताया, अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा यानी अनलेबल्ड डेटा उस फॉर्म में होगा वो, and machine learning method that facilitate unsupervised learning are particularly valuable. तो जो मुझे ऐसे ग्रुप्स बना के दे देगा मेरे डेटा में से, that can be really helpful for me. ठीक है, या एग्जांपल के लिए ले लो आप, आपके पास let's say 1000 कस्टमर्स का डेटा है and your company has 3 products which are costing $250, $500 and $1000, and let's say you have only 3 sales rep, 3 सेल्स रेप है, दे कैन पिच एनी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, वो 200 का 250 का प्रोडक्ट बेच सकते हैं, 500 का भी, 1000 का भी। नाउ दे हैव टू टॉक टू द पर्सन एंड आइडेंटिफाई किसको क्या प्रोडक्ट बेचा जाए। सो देयर कैन बी अ गाय हु इज प्रीटी स्मार्ट, हु कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि अच्छा इस प्रोडक्ट, इस कस्टमर को अगर उसको $1000 का प्रोडक्ट शायद वो बाय कर सकता है, ही विल पिच हिम दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट। एक कस्टमर है जो शायद सिर्फ 500 का प्रोडक्ट खरीद सकता है, ही विल ओनली पिच हिम दैट प्रोडक्ट, बट नॉट एवरीवन इज दैट स्मार्ट, हर कोई नहीं कर पाएगा। कोई शायद ये कर दे कि कोई शायद एक कस्टमर है जो who can afford only $500 product, but that guy is recommending him a product which is of $1000. So obviously he will not buy. One guy is there who can afford a product of $1000, but उसको क्या recommend कर रहे हैं, उसको $500 का product recommend कर रहे हैं। तो इससे we are not able to give the client whatever value they are looking for. So in that case अगर हम क्या करें, डेटा को 3 ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड कर दें बेसिकली, problem he will recommend, sorry, by probing he will recommend. Yes, obviously that's what we do in case of sales, right? We probe, we ask questions, and then we try to find out, but not everybody would be able to find out the correct answer कि शायद इसको ये प्रोडक्ट पसंद है। बट अगर उनके लिए हम लाइफ उनकी इजी कर दें, हमें पता है कि वन गाय इज गुड विद सेलिंग लेट्स से 250 वाला प्रोडक्ट या 150 250 वाला प्रोडक्ट, वन गाय इज गुड विद सेलिंग $500 प्रोडक्ट, उसको पता है उस प्रोडक्ट के बारे में इन एंड आउट एवरीथिंग, यस यूएसपीज ऑब्वियसली, एंड द थर्ड गाय नोज एवरीथिंग अबाउट द $1000 प्रोडक्ट। सो अगर मैं ग्रुप्स बना के उन तीनों को अलग अलग डेटा दे दूं, तो कितना बेनिफिशियल होगा उनके लिए, उनका टाइम भी बचेगा, प्रोबिंग से ऑब्वियसली उनका टाइम जाएगा, उनकी एनर्जी जाएगी और कन्वर्जन में टाइम लगेगा। बट अगर मैं उनको ग्रुप्स बना के दे दूं तो उससे क्या होगा, उनका काम भी आसान हो जाएगा। ऐसे ही आप किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में सोच लो कि जहां पे आपको लगता है कि ग्रुप्स बना के आपका काम इजी हो सकता है, सो दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग। एनीवेज, तो यहाँ पे वही चीज, रॉ डेटा था मेरे पास, उसमें हमने कुछ एल्गोरिदम लगाया, एल्गोरिदम ने उन्हें खुद से डिवाइड कर दिया क्लस्टर्स में, ये जो हैं ये बर्ड्स हैं जी, ये जो हैं ये फिशेस हैं। तो दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग, क्लस्टर्स बना दिए या ग्रुप्स बना दिए आपके डेटा के। तो कहाँ पे यूज हो सकता है, अभी मैंने आपको बहुत सारे यूज केसेस वैसे बता दिए हैं। सो जहाँ पे हमारे पास विदाउट प्रोबिंग हाउ वुड ही नो द रिक्वायरमेंट, सर हमारे पास कुछ डेटा पॉइंट्स होंगे ना, उनके कुछ फीचर्स होंगे ना, जिसके बेसिस पे हम ये करेंगे। मे बी उनका स्पेंडिंग स्कोर हमारे पास है, मे बी हमारे पास उनकी इनकम है, उसके बेसिस पे करेंगे। ये तो आप जनरली करोगे ना कि आप प्रोब करोगे, बट आपके पास ये डेटा तो होता ही है जिसके बेसिस पे आप क्लस्टर्स बनाओगे। ऑब्वियसली कोई ना कोई वैल्यू हमें चाहिए जिसके बेसिस पे हम क्लस्टर बना सकें, अदरवाइज हाउ वी वुड क्रिएट अ वैल्यू, मतलब किस तरह से उनको करेंगे हम। एनीवेज, सो ट्रांजैक्शनल डेटा के केस में So you may have a large data set of customers and their purchases, and with this data, fed into the unsupervised learning algorithm, and it might determine that women of certain age range who buy unscented soaps are likely to be pregnant. तो अगर हम ये figure out कर पाएं, therefore the marketing campaign related to the pregnancy and baby product can be targeted to this audience in order to increase the number of purchases. तो अगर मैं ये find कर पाऊं कि these are the women who are buying unscented soaps, then we should recommend him these set of products. That is a part of your unsupervised learning. Advanced without being told the correct answer. तो यहाँ पे हमें correct answer नहीं पता. So unsupervised learning method can look at complex data that is more expansive and seemingly unrelatable in order to organize in potentially meaningful way. तो supervised learning के case में we create such kind of boundaries जिसकी help से we divide them into different categories. Yes no की category, disease है नहीं है, cat and dog की category या what not. यहाँ पे we divide them into multiple clusters. यहाँ पे हमें correct answer पता है, यहाँ पे हमें correct answer नहीं पता. We don't really know the correct answer. Okay, so classical machine learning के देखें अगर तो these are the associations, or you can say these are the different divisions of it. So पहले हो गया अपना supervised learning. It is related to task driven depending on the task that I'm trying to solve. उसके accordingly so classification आ जाएगा. तो divide stacks of colors, उसको अलग अलग करना. Identifying fraud. So regression के केस में divide the ties of length. So मतलब market forecasting के लिए. अनसुपरवाइज के केस में जहां पे हमारे पास अनलेबल्ड डेटा, यहाँ पे प्री कैटेगराइज डेटा है. एक चीज को समझ लीजिए, ये याद रखिएगा, टारगेट डेटा यहाँ पे आपके पास, यहाँ पे आपके पास अनलेबल्ड डेटा है. सो यहाँ पे यू कैन क्रिएट क्लस्टरिंग आप बना सकते हैं. यहाँ पे यू कैन क्रिएट associations. So customer recommendations, that is part of association. Obviously dimensionality reduction is there, but I will not talk about. ये थोड़ा सा complex हो जाएगा. Okay. So I hope till this point is clear. Now let's talk about deep learning. What is deep learning? And then we'll move to the Q&A part. So in case of machine learning, what we were doing, we were given with the input. We ourselves were performing the feature extraction. उस input में से कौन-कौन से feature को feed करना चाहिए मॉडल को, कौन-कौन से feature को नहीं feed करना चाहिए. Then we were able to find out क्या ये कार है या क्या ये कार नहीं है. ठीक है? If it is a classification problem. In case of deep learning, आपको कुछ नहीं करना, आपको सब कुछ डेटा को फॉर्मेट करना एक तरीके से. आपने उसको एक एल्गोरिदम में, एक न्यूरल नेटवर्क में पास करवा दिया जिसमें बहुत सारे न्यूरॉन्स हैं जो आपस में कनेक्टेड हैं, कुछ में भी कनेक्टेड नहीं है. एंड देन वो एल्गोरिदम सब कुछ करेगा, वो एल्गोरिदम ही फीचर एक्सट्रैक्शन करेगा, वो एल्गोरिदम ही क्लासिफिकेशन करके आपको रिजल्ट दे देगा, बता देगा क्या ये कार है या क्या ये कार नहीं है. और मे बी ये भी बता सकता है कि कौन सी कार है, क्या उसका कलर है, वो चीज नहीं बता सकता है. सो डीप लर्निंग कंबाइन एडवांसेस इन द कंप्यूटिंग पावर. और वो कैलकुलेशन जैसे मैं बता रहा था आपको, तो यहाँ पे इक्वेशन सिंपल हो सकती है, 3 वेरिएबल, 4 वेरिएबल, 10 वेरिएबल, 5 वेरिएबल. यहाँ पे यू हैव मिलियंस ऑफ वेरिएबल्स दैट यू माइट बी डीलिंग विद. तो हाउ एग्जैक्टली वी आर एबल टू अचीव दिस? बिकॉज वी हैव गुड कंप्यूटिंग पावर अवेलेबल टू अस टुडे. इसलिए, और बहुत चीपली अवेलेबल है विद द हेल्प ऑफ क्लाउड and all these different technology that is available to us. So special type of neural network to learn complicated pattern in the large amount of data. So deep learning techniques are currently state of the art for identifying objects in the image and words and sounds. So you might have heard of the application. Identify करना, आपने मास्क पहना नहीं पहना. Identify करना, you are wearing the helmet or not. और identify करना objects on the on the road. आइडेंटिफाई करना, बहुत सारे वीडियो फीड में कितने लोगों ने मास्क पहना नहीं पहना. तो कुंभ के मेले में आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट आल्सो यूज द सेम थिंग. आई डोंट नो वो कितना यूजफुल था, बट दे यूज्ड इट. Okay, coming back to the topic. So researchers are now looking to apply these successions in the pattern recognition to more complex tasks such as automatic language translation, medical diagnostics, and numerous other importance of social and business problems. So deep learning, it's it's in a lot of research, a lot of people are publishing a lot of papers for the same कि इसको किस तरीके से हम अलग अलग applications में use कर सकते हैं. Still it is quite unknown to us. बहुत सारे facts ऐसे हैं which are quite unknown, but if you try to understand it, obviously it's possible to understand. But इसमें ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें which are quite complex to understand, जो कि मतलब ऐसी कुछ problem which you can't even imagine to solve, that can be solved with the help of deep learning. Okay, so now talking about the data mining. So data mining can be considered as a superset of many different methods to extract insight from the data, and it might involve traditional statistical methods and machine learning, and data mining applies method from many different areas to identify previously unknown patterns from the data. And this can include statistical algorithm, machine learning algorithm, text analytics, time series analysis, and other areas of analysis. So these are all part of data science, you can say, which falls under the data mining as well. So data mining also include the study and the practice of data storage and data manipulation. So that is all part of data mining. डेटा माइनिंग की टेक्निक क्या हो सकती हैं, जो अभी मैंने सब कुछ आपको बताया, दे आल्सो फॉल्स अंडर इट. क्लासिफिकेशन बताया, क्लस्टरिंग बताया, रिग्रेशन बताया, वो सारी चीजें इसी के अंडर फॉल करती हैं. प्रिडिक्शन बताया, वो सारा चीज इसके अंदर. क्लासिफिकेशन रिग्रेशन, आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर टू अस नाउ कि क्लासिफिकेशन रिग्रेशन क्या है, बट लेट मी रीआइटरेट कि स्टूडेंट की प्रोफाइल की क्लासिफिकेशन करनी, क्या वो पास होगा या फेल होगा, सेम प्रॉब्लम है. और ये फाइंड करना क्या उसकी परसेंटेज होगी. तो एक क्या है, क्लासिफिकेशन है. कई लोग पूरा मशीन लर्निंग का कोर्स पढ़ लेते हैं, स्टिल दे आर कंफ्यूज कि क्लासिफिकेशन क्या, रिग्रेशन, आई डोंट नो व्हाई, but still, that is why I'm reiterating the same point again and again. A classification is about yes or no, जहाँ पे आपके पास fixed set of output हो. Remember this, fixed set of output, discrete output हो. And your regression is something where you have a continuous output, percentage जैसे कि continuous output. It can be 1%, 2%, 30%, 40%, 50%, whatever. So that is the part of regression. Again, classification and regression. So regression case में we try to plot a simple linear line, and in case of classification we try to draw the linear, or it can be a non-linear boundary, जो कि दोनों को अलग अलग ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड करेगा. ये हमें एक आउटपुट देगा. One second. Okay. Now data mining के application कहाँ पर है, communication में. So data mining techniques are used to communicate. Voice issue, is it for everyone that you guys are facing voice issue?
Yes, sir.
No, not at all, sir. It's proper sound.
No, sir.
No, sir. It's clear.
No,
You are audible, sir. Clearly.
Okay. So I guess it's the problem from your end, guys. Maybe your internet is fluctuating. Okay. So communication, how it is used in communication. So data mining techniques are used in communication sector to predict customer behavior, to offer highly targeted and relevant campaigns. Communication ads, the ads that you receive on the internet. ठीक है, इंटरनेट पे जो आपको एड्स रिसीव होती हैं, whatever product that you might be searching, whatever product that you might be talking to your friends over the call. So let's not discuss that how they identified it, but they are able to identify it. I felt the same, that I'm talking to my friend about something, I get an ad. I'm talking about a car to my friend that okay yaar, I'm planning to buy this XYZ car, and they will recommend me the same car, or maybe उससे थोड़ा higher model या उससे थोड़ा lower model, they will recommend me the same. So this is there. So insurance के केस में data mining helps the insurance companies to predict their product profitable and promote new offering to the new or the existing customers. Education के केस में data mining benefit educators to access student data and predict achievement level and find the students or group of students which need extra attention. For example, students who are weak in the maths subject, so they will be given maybe some extra classes for the maths. Manufacturing, with the help of data mining, manufacturers can predict wear and tear of the product production aspects, and they can anticipate maintenance, which help them to reduce the minimization downtime basically. So they can reduce the downtime because they are already prepared that there can be some problem with it. So banking, data mining help the finance sector to get a view of the market risk. So risk profile analysis perform कर पाएंगे वो, and they would be able to do the regulatory compliances कि कहाँ पे उन्हें अभी default हो सकता है. अब वो aware होके भी वो चीजें नहीं कर रहे हैं, that is a different thing. We cannot do anything of that. They are already aware कि there are high chances कि यहाँ पे default होगा, but still they would do it. Nobody can do anything, right? System नहीं कर पाएगा, system जबरदस्ती आके उस बंदे को पकड़ नहीं पाएगा. So वो तो बैंक को ही देखना पड़ेगा. but system can tell them कि यहाँ पे default होने के chances हैं, so you should do this. रिटेल के केस में, सो रिटेल की एग्जांपल मैंने आपको टारगेट की एग्जांपल दी, उससे पहले एक्सेंटेड सोप की एग्जांपल दी, वही चीज. सो डेटा माइनिंग टेक्निक हेल्प द रिटेल मॉल्स एंड द ग्रोसरी स्टोर आइडेंटिफाई एंड अरेंज द मोस्ट सेलेबल प्रोडक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर अटेंशन पोजीशन. सो वहां पे उनको, क्योंकि बहुत सारी उनकी ये बहुत मैटर करता है कि कहां पे उनको प्लेस करा जाए बेसिकली. And it helps the store owners to come up with a offer which encourage the customer to increase their spendings. So data scientists and salaries in India. So career opportunities in data and exponentially grown. There is a huge demand for it, and there are very less people who are competent enough to solve these problems, because it is a kind of a new field comparatively to other rest of the field. So there are comparatively less people who are who have that enough grit in that particular field that they are able to solve problems which are there. So companies are eager to capture data and drive insight from it because of the technological advancement we are facing. And now the time that we are living in a digital age. Due to the coronavirus, everybody must have learned to live in a different way altogether, how to live online, how to use internet, all of that how to use it in a better way, how to manage teams online. There are a ton of things that have changed the landscape that we used to think about the businesses, about how we used to hire people, and everything have changed. The accessibility of the data today can help to reap the multiple benefits of the organization from it. So obviously, if they are capturing the data, then obviously they want to reap some benefit out of it. So why would anybody hire a data scientist? They are going to hire you only and only because if you can generate some revenue to them. If you are able to make them 10% profit, 20% profit, they are willing to pay whatever salary you're asking. So companies are throwing huge salaries at those who have the skill set to take the position as the data analyst or data scientist or engineers roles basically. And India seems the second highest country. You can go and Google about it as well after the session, that whatever I'm saying, is it true or not? You can Google about it and then you can make sure, you can confirm that. So recruit employee in the field of data science and data analytics, and second only to the United States. United States is the number one, and the second one is the India. So the demand for data experts is equally competitive, whether you look at the big companies like e-commerce industry or even the startups. So thus, if you have the required skill set and ready to keep yourself updated, your career as a data scientist is expected to grow onwards and upwards. So you need to be have this what I call it, the learning attitude. You should have that attitude in yourself, because if you say, if I learn 10 things, I'm going to survive in the industry, that is not true. You might have to learn 10 new things in the next month itself, and then in the next month, and then in the next month. So you need to be ready to take on challenges and to learn new things. You should have that fire, you should have that eagerness in yourself to learn new things, basically, to take on the challenges, because there will be challenges for sure. So you should be ready for that. Talking about the salaries in comparative to United States, these are the salaries. You can say approximately equals to 10 lakh, the base salary. The lower end it is 4.5, on the upper end it is 1.8 lakhs. And for the United States, the salary is around 117k, or on the lower end it is 86k, on the upper end it is 115k. So roles for the data scientist, what are the different roles? And so data scientists are inherently analytical data experts and equipped with the requisite skill to solve complex problems, and complemented with the unconscious trust of exploring wide arrays of issues that need to be addressed. So as I said, you should have that fire or the eagerness to learn new things. So that is required. That is, you can say, the prerequisite which has to be there. Rest of the things, knowing technology, how to use, how to code, and all of that, that's the secondary thing. But the first thing should be the eagerness to learn and to explore, take on the challenges. And they are highly skilled individuals combining the best of both world, IT and business. So you need to think in a both way, according to the business as well as an IT guy, that how can we implement this to the product. Hence the data scientists are part of the computer scientists, part of mathematical, and part of the trend analyzer. So you have to wear multiple hats on multiple times, basically. So requisite skill set for data scientists. So you should have the knowledge of algorithms and statistics and mathematics and machine learning. You should have programming languages such as your Python, SQL, SAS, or Hive, and there are a ton of others depending on the companies. So basic understanding and the aptitude to frame the right question. So asking right question is very important. Companies are willing to pay you good amount of money if you know how to ask the right question and obviously answer it, but to ask the right question from the data and find obviously answer to it. So communicate skills in order to communicate the result, and you should be a good communication. You should have a good communication skills. Zaruri hai. So that because you need to communicate with the business stakeholders, so you should have a good communication skill as well. That can be developed over time, obviously, but that is there. So you can say different job roles that can be data scientists, data engineers, and data analysts. So data engineers वो हैं which are working purely on the data collection, storage, कि किस तरह के डेटाबेस में इसको स्टोर करा जाए, कैसे स्टोर करा जाए, कैसे या क्या इस डेटा को स्टोर करने के लिए स्पीड की रिक्वायरमेंट है या क्या चीज की रिक्वायरमेंट, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली डिसाइड करा जाए. वो पार्ट डेटा इंजीनियर का है. डेटा साइंटिस्ट का मॉडल बिल्डिंग का पार्ट है. फ्यूचर की प्रेडिक्शन करना. डेटा एनालिस्ट का पार्ट क्या है, व्हाट हैपेंड इन दी पास्ट, वो एनालाइज करना. And the data scientist salaries in the, you know, what exactly the salary range would look like coming 5 year, 10 year, 6 year down the line. So this is what the graph might look like, and obviously it is a projection. Salary kind of, you know, it depends on the user, I mean the end person who is going for an interview. Maybe you might have a different experience altogether, and you know, the diverse experience you might be having, your knowledge, it depends on multiple factors, but this is a pretty general graphs, or you can say statistic that I'm showing you guys. It can vary depending on your skill set. If you are highly qualified, you might, you know, overshoot all these graphs as well. So data engineer salaries in India, again according to the Glassdoor, this is the salary 8.56 lakhs for the data engineers. So this is what the pay scale look like for the data engineer in the coming projections. You can say how the projection would look like. Pay scale for your data analyst, again this is what the pay scale look like for your data analyst. But if somebody is starting out, I mean into the data field, so they can go for data analyst initially, then they can target the machine learning role, and then they can go for the data, you know, the data scientist role as well. So now we will discuss the questions. If you guys have any question, so please unmute yourself one by one, or if you can type them in the chat, so that would be great, and then we can discuss them. So yeah, please go ahead.
Hello? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. See, I am a senior administrator, and I want to use the benefit of data sciences for the field of education. But I'm not from the field of computers. So what do you suggest for me?
So I would say, first of all, you know, you should learn programming, at least Python programming. You should learn any of the programming you can learn, but Python would be the one that I would recommend. And then you can start learning about the different tools that are there in Python. Then you may go for the analysis part, and then you can move on. As I said, it's a process that you have to follow. It's a learning curve that you have to follow, which can include your starting with Python, then moving to the data analysis part, then moving to the machine learning part, and then you can move to the complex systems as well.
So how much, I mean, what should be the course durations? Because there are a number of short-term courses available from private universities and also public. So which courses would you recommend for a beginner like me?
I think first of all, you should be going for the Python course itself, learning Python. And then if you feel comfortable with Python, if you think that you can do it, then you can go for data analysis part. So that will range up to, you know, one to 2 months for Python course. And then again, 1 or 2 months you can say for your data analysis part.
And I mean, are there any government agencies or websites from where I can learn Python course?
For government websites, you can say NEPTEL. NEPTEL is there. Or IIT also provide multiple courses, and you can always visit Brillica Services website as well if you want to.
Okay, thank you so much.
We do provide all these. We do provide all these courses: Python, data analysis, machine learning, data science. All these courses we provide.
No, I asked especially about the government because ultimately the course that you have done should be duly recognized also in order to go for anything in advanced training.
Okay. So NEPTEL, I would say NEPTEL and IIT Kharagpur also, you know, I think conducts the workshops for the same. IIT ECL, they also conduct the same.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, anyone else have any other question?
Yeah, sir. Sir, I want to know that if I know and I have done Python programming course, then is it mandatory to have R programming knowledge also to have a data analyst skills?
No, it's not. It's not mandatory as such.
Okay. So if I completed Python course, it's not important to have R knowledge, right?
No, it's not. You can learn any one
Oh,
of them. I mean, both of them are used for the same purpose.
what about SAS?
So that is also the language, because some companies also ask. So it's also dependent on the company itself. No, the company is using which tool. So I'm
Okay, so
talking about
it's a
generally.
option.
What?
Okay, so
Yes. So
it's optional
generally, lot of
between three.
no. It's not optional. Python and R, you can say they are optional. SAS, you can add SAS as well. It's an additional sub. You can say add on for you if you want to learn SAS. Yes, please go on, Gaurav. Gaurav, what is your question?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Yeah, this is Pankaj. So I just wanted to check for the data visualization. I mean, which tool is most recommended? I mean, which is simple, like Power BI or Tableau?
I would say Power BI if I talk about simplicity, but some of the people also uses Tableau. I mean, it also depends on you. I mean, I like Power BI, but some of the people say Power BI is more complex. Some of them like
Okay,
Tableau more.
but I guess Power BI has more advanced features.
Yes, absolutely. If you look into the the leader quadrant of Gartner, you will find Power BI there on the top.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I have a
Okay.
question. Like in the beginning, you said that you have your presence in Dehradun as well. So can you share the details of the location or the center in
Yes.
Dehradun? Because if
Yes.
uh, it is a bit difficult for me to understand the such kind of programming languages going online. Rather,
Mm-hmm.
like though I have a technical background. I did engineering in electronics and communication, but I have never been interested in such programming sort of thing. But now I am
Okay.
developing my interest in this data science and data analysis. So obviously, in order to get that inculcate and expertise in that field, I would have to learn this Python thing.
Correct.
So
So we are
just wanted to know, like,
yes. So we are present in Lalpul Chowk, if you are aware of Lalpul Chowk, which is and near to the
near
over. We
Patel
have our
Nagar.
office. Yes in
Patel
Patel
Nagar.
Nagar over Suvidha Supermart. You can see the address. This is the address.
Okay. Okay, and does I got a call today morning from some who called me? I don't remember his name. From whom we received the email,
Hmm.
Mr. Negi. So
Yes.
he also I mean, like, he is in
Yes,
the
he might
Dehradun
be.
center. So if
Yes. So he is the director of the company.
okay, so we can call him if we need to reach out to the
Yes.
center, correct?
Definitely you can. You can always
Okay,
visit the
thank you so
website
much.
as well. I'll just paste the link in the chat. You can visit the website if you want any further
Uh-huh.
information related to Brillica. I don't know why it's not opening. Let me check. Yes, next please. Go on. I think there is some issue with it. Yeah, please next.
Yeah, this is Abhinav. So
Yes, Abhinav.
you initially shown a slide which says that this technology is used in the self-driving car and drones. So so if I talk about aviation industry, how machine learning is used in drones? I mean, in which particular field?
Sorry. I did not get your question. Can you repeat?
So like in your initial slides, you shows that machine learning can be used in drones. So, I mean, in what area it is used? Is it used in
Okay.
like flight path or what?
So it is used in almost all the fields, I would say. So in drones, you can say it can be used for object detection, that detecting somebody, how many people are there on the street, how many cars are there on the street. That is something it can be used with the drone.
I mean, like that can be done with the help of sensor. But how
That can be done
machine
with the
learning
help of
sensor?
so it will
Sensor.
identify the faces of the people who are on the road. So it is a different technology, you can say. It is able to identify how many people are wearing masks, all of that. Maybe it can be detect the number plates as well of the car. So anything that is related to detection.
Okay, so it means it's very opposite to a prediction kind of thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. So it is identifying the pattern. It is related to pattern mining. So finding the pattern, how many people are there on the road and that sort of stuff. So you can train it according to your requirement, what exactly you are looking for. According to that, it will work.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Hi, this is
you
Gaurav.
can. Yes, Gaurav.
Okay, so I'm into quality and training, and I just want to know in what fields, in what ways we can utilize this course in call center.
In call center, so you can say ticket. In ticket, you can say the ticket resolutions,
We
how
are
the
into
tickets are
sales.
resolved.
Okay,
Sorry.
I think we are
Can you use
handling
the
sales for US AT&T.
So you are handling the sales. So you might receive the tickets, or do you receive calls?
We receive calls, and we evaluate, we provide feedbacks to the agents. We arrange their training sessions. So
Okay.
based on that, I just wanted to know in what ways it can be beneficial for me if I opt for it.
So basically, I mean, you have to explore this, that how exactly it will be beneficial.
Okay, let
Because
me tell you
anyone
that.
and
Okay, at the end of the month, we prepare DNA training need analysis on what products agents need training. We prepare Pareto. What are what were the population making mistake on one particular thing depending on their percentage. Like if there are 20% of people making 80% of mistakes, you find out that kind of data by Pareto chart. So in that way, there are similar, different observations.
Right.
So
So you are saying analysis you can perform. Obviously, you can perform the analysis if you have the feedback received from the different customers, the clients. Then you can perform different analysis on top of that. Then maybe you can divide those customers into different clusters, and then provide them offering.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hey sir, this is Prabhat. Actually, I was listening to your conversation while you were talking to Gaurav. Sir, can I recommend something? Can you tell me, can it be implemented or not? Can Gaurav create a chat bot on the basis of what people are asking on the phone calls, and replying to that question, that particular question, the chatbot create a
Yes.
answer on the basis of that and can reply to them.
Yes, but that's what I asked him. He said that he received calls. He doesn't receive the chat. That's what I asked him in the first place. That if he receives the call, chats, then he could build a question answering chatbot, rule-based system he can build.
Then they can go for assistant like Siri or like these assistants are going on. They can create assistant over there.
Yes, they can, but they are quite complex system to be frank.
Okay.
That will take a lot of time. That will take a lot of data for the training purpose, because they can.
Like
there are
we
ton
have
of things that can be.
fishbone analysis.
There has to be something which is related to audio. You can say. So they can build the authentication system which is related to audio, which is still in the research purpose, that people are still researching on it. That whenever the customer calls in, there might be some verification process that they have. The customer have to provide X and Y detail in order to get connected to someone. So they can build the system which is able to recognize the customer's audio if they are the, you can say, registered customers, and then they would be able to connect to the directly to the associated person who can handle their query. Because they might have to pass through one X person, then they will verify themselves, and then if that is the case, I'm not sure what is the case, but this can be done. But this is still in the research. People are still implementing the same, an audio-based verification system that can be done. So that will quickly resolve their queries, and obviously analysis part can be done. Yes. that is there. Okay, anybody have any other question? Please go on.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Kuldeep.
Yeah, so I'm just want to ask now that I just started my small startup, like you can say freelancing and all, for training, educational trainings. How this can help me in any way, if you can suggest something. Like I need to sell my courses, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, and to bring people for the trainings and all. So how it can like really help me anywhere, if you can suggest something.
In case of, I mean, you can learn data science, then you can teach people data science. That's what I would
Yeah,
suggest.
because see, I receive hundreds of emails every day, but the conversion and also that is very low and all. So how to really see that, okay, these people I should be selling them cloud or NP or like AI or whatever.
So you can, you know,
how
build
to
a you can build a kind of a survey form which you can analyze, and then based on that you can, you know, change your offerings. You can ask the clients that you have or the customer that you're receiving, you can send them an email, ask them to fill a quick survey in which you have mentioned which course they might be interesting, what pricing they might be interesting, what duration they might be interesting, what modes they would prefer, and then you can perform the analysis. So that doesn't require machine learning and all. It can be done manually, I guess. So it's all about
no.
common sense.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for that answer. No, what I'm looking at now, I just want to have this long-term project for me as a learning. Means, is it really possible for guy like me, non-technical, non-programming, non-technical, but yes, not programming, to build something, some application for future? Like there are multiple offerings in the market. They provide you third-party app and all. They can create for you. But can I create my own app using Python and then using this machine learning and so like
Yes,
my
why
own
not?
project? Yes, my
Yes, I
own.
mean, yes, Python and
Alone.
machine learning will be a part of your application, but it cannot be the
Right.
whole application. There has to
Okay.
be other components to it, because in order to build an application, you need to be aware about the front end, because that is a different track altogether. You need to be aware about the front end, the technology that can be used on the front end, whether you want to build an iOS application, whether you want to build an, you know, the Android application, whether you want to build the application which works on both of them, application, or the backend. The backend has to be decided, and then machine learning and your deep learning can play one part in that particular application. One feature it can add, maybe a recommendation feature, maybe it can be a chat bot, or anything. One feature it can add, you can say, but it cannot be around the whole, you can say. If you
So
say that
like
can I build a website, so website can have those applications. So Python is an application, or it's a programming language which can be used at the back end. At the front end, you
okay,
have to use different languages altogether, like HTML, CSS, if you are building a website.
okay. So it means it will not be a wise decision to do everything by myself
Yes, I
because
would say
it
that
is going
you
to
can focus
take
on one
time
part.
and time.
Yes,
Yes, so
you can focus on one
okay,
part. Machine learning part or deep learning
okay,
part will be.
okay. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay.
हेलो
Yes.
हेलो सर मेरा बैकग्राउंड सिविल इंजीनियरिंग है
Sorry, can you repeat? क्या बोला आपने?
सर सर मेरा बैकग्राउंड सिविल इंजीनियरिंग का है
हाँ जी, बताइए।
और मैंने मतलब डेटा साइंस पढ़ी है 1 साल मतलब काफी पढ़ा है इसके बारे में और पूरा कंप्लीट कोर्स भी करा है लगभग अपने एंड के थ्रू मतलब यूट्यूब वगैरह से इंटरनेट से और प्रोजेक्ट्स पे भी थोड़ा बहुत एंड से बनाया है जो भी मेरे से हो पाया। तो सर
हाँ
कैसे
जी,
आप ब्रिलिका कैसे हेल्प कर सकते थे थोड़ा आगे बढ़ने में पुश करने में, क्योंकि बेसिक तो मुझे पता है सारी पाइथन वगैरह सब मैंने पढ़ी हुई है।
ठीक है। So you can directly start with the machine learning. आपने किस में प्रोजेक्ट बनाया? मशीन लर्निंग में बनाया, पाइथन में बनाया, किस में बनाया आपने प्रोजेक्ट?
सर मैंने पाइथन में बनाया था ये कुछ मॉडल्स प्रिडिक्शन वाले बनाए थे आईपीएल स्कोर वगैरह, आईपीएल स्कोर प्रिडिक्शन वगैरह।
अच्छा, कौन सा मॉडल यूज करा था आपने इसमें?
सर मैंने रैंडम फॉरेस्ट और के फोल्ड वगैरह यूज करे थे।
अच्छा, ठीक है। तो डीप लर्निंग यूज करी आपने? डीप लर्निंग पढ़ी है या नहीं पढ़ी है? डीप लर्निंग उसको
सर
इम्प्लीमेंट
डीप
करा था?
लर्निंग में पढ़ी है, डीप लर्निंग मैंने पढ़ी है पर मुझे उसमें काम करना है मतलब ये सो ओपन सीवी वगैरह में अभी मेरे को इतना हो नहीं पाया उससे अकेले में।
ठीक है। So you can go for deep learning then if you are, if you say you are comfortable with the machine learning and Python part, then you can enroll for the deep learning course जिसमें कि OpenCV and Python वो आ जाएगा आपका। और डीप लर्निंग
तो
के
सर
कॉन्सेप्ट
उसमें
जैसे
थ्योरेटिकल ज्यादा होगा या प्रैक्टिकल? क्योंकि मुझे थ्योरेटिकल मैंने सारा पढ़ा हुआ है, सारा नॉलेज है मुझे।
दोनों चीजें होंगी एक्चुअली,
अच्छा।
क्योंकि विदाउट थ्योरेटिकल देयर कैन बी नो प्रैक्टिकल ना। पहले थ्योरेटिकल मुझे पता होगा तभी प्रैक्टिकल कर पाऊंगा, तो दोनों चीजें होंगी। इट विल बी अ ब्लेंड ऑफ बोथ ऑफ थिंग्स, कि पहले मैं आपको
ओके
थ्योरी
सर।
बताऊंगा देन आपको प्रैक्टिकल बताऊंगा ना। अगर मैं पहले प्रैक्टिकल करना शुरू कर दूं तो आप तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा।
ठीक है सर।
Okay, what are the actual job roles for a data analyst? So data analyst के लिए job roles वही होंगे, data business analyst, data analyst, यही job roles होंगे सर। Power BI experts होंगे, Excel के लिए होगा या Tableau के लिए होगा या Python के लिए होगा। Performing data analysis using Python, performing data analysis using Tableau, performing data analysis using Power BI, यही job roles होंगे।
सर जो ये यूज होती है मशीन लर्निंग वगैरह, ये सर विंडोज पे यूज होते हैं कि लाइनेक्स वगैरह या रेड हैट वगैरह में यूज होती है? मतलब
सर जिसमें मर्जी कर लो, इट्स प्लेटफॉर्म इंडिपेंडेंट, जोन से मर्जी
हाँ
प्लेटफॉर्म
सर
पे
वो
यूज
तो
कर
मुझे
लो।
पता है, पर बेसिकली इंडस्ट्री क्या यूज करती है?
डीप लर्निंग के लिए जनरली लाइनेक्स यूज होता है, क्योंकि वो काफी फास्ट है, विंडोज काफी हैवी है। अगर डीप लर्निंग एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हैं लाइनेक्स यूज होता है,
तो सर मतलब
विंडोज
लाइनेक्स के
काफी
लिए भी
हैवी।
थोड़ा नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, वो भी कवर अप
हाँ
कराओगे सर आप?
नहीं, वो कोर्स का पार्ट नहीं है,
अच्छा।
क्योंकि आपके लिए
तो डीप
अभी
लर्निंग का
विंडोज पे
कोर्स
हम
का
काम
पार्ट
कर
क्या
सकते
है?
हैं। हाँ जी,
सर डीप लर्निंग में क्या क्या होगा कोर्स?
डीप लर्निंग में सर होगा आपका ANN, CNN, RNN होगा, इनकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होगी, इनसे रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स होंगे आपके। देन आपका OpenCV होगा,
ओके
OpenCV
सर।
से
और
रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट होगा।
सर प्रोजेक्ट कौन कौन से होंगे सर, आप बता थोड़ा।
सर इसमें क्लासिफिकेशन रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स होंगे ANN में, जैसे हो गया कस्टमर चर्न प्रेडिक्शन होगा यूजिंग ANN, कि कौन से कस्टमर
अच्छा।
चर्न होंगे कौन से कस्टमर नहीं होंगे ANN के लिए। या मे बी डिजिट क्लासिफिकेशन का हो सकता है, या
सर
मे बी हो
ट्रैकिंग
सकता
वगैरह
है
क्या होगा? ट्रैकिंग वगैरह
ट्रैकिंग कैसे।
सर जैसे कोई ट्रैकिंग मतलब मोशन, कोई आदमी का ट्रैकिंग या कार का ट्रैकिंग जो सड़कों में
अच्छा,
लगते हैं सर आजकल,
वो
वो सब।
ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्शन का पार्ट है, नहीं वो नहीं होगा इसका प्रोजेक्ट।
वो सर ओपन
बट
सीवी में सर वही तो है।
हाँ, वो पर उसमें आपका RNN वही सारी चीजें तो यूज हो रही हैं। आपका टेंसर फ्लो तो यूज हो रहा है, TF-OD का पार्ट है ना वो,
अच्छा
ऑब्जेक्ट
अच्छा।
डिटेक्शन का पार्ट। तो पहले
ओके
आपको ये
ओके।
चीजें पता होंगी तभी तो आप इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाओगे।
सर एक मैं चाह रहा था ना, कोई अगर वो वाला आप प्रोजेक्ट करवाते तो थोड़ा बेटर रहता ना, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा है अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है ये ट्रैकिंग वगैरह का, ऑब्जेक्ट ट्रैकिंग।
ऑब्जेक्ट ट्रैकिंग कैसे, मतलब वीडियो फीड के थ्रू आपको क्या ट्रैक करना है?
सर कुछ भी मतलब कैसा इस तरह से काम किया जाता है ट्रैकिंग में, क्योंकि मुझे आइडिया नहीं आ पाया ना, मैंने खुद से ट्राई किया था पर हो नहीं पाया मुझसे।
कर सकते हैं, नॉट एन इशू, कर सकते हैं, मतलब
जैसे
देख सकते
अगर
हैं
सर
इसके।
कोई मतलब कोई जैसे एम्प्लॉय है, उसकी फेस रिकॉग्नाइज करके उसकी अटेंडेंस ये सब।
I mean, if you want to specifically join, then obviously that can be possible. If अगर आपको सिर्फ वही प्रोजेक्ट करना है, so that is a different thing that can be done. But मैं तो आपको जनरल
ओके
कोर्स
सर।
बता रहा हूँ कि generally what exactly we cover. But if you want to
ओके सर।
specifically do that, that is possible. If you say कि मुझे ये XYZ प्रोजेक्ट करने हैं, वो तो हम करवा ही सकते हैं।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है।
हाँ जी, next please. Okay, anyone have any other question? So Kunal says I am currently in 12th, how it can be helpful for me. So Kunal, it's always good to learn programming, I would say. So it will open up a lot of horizons for you in the future, and then you can decide कि आपको machine learning की field में, because you have a lot of time in front of you, then you can decide आपको engineering इसमें करनी चाहिए नहीं करनी चाहिए. You can choose the graduation according to that, कि आपको future में क्या करना चाहिए. If you get some glimpse of it, कि ये प्रोग्रामिंग में होता है, ये सारी चीजें हम कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं, and all of that. So that will be a very good idea, I would say, for you. Okay, any other question? Okay, let me see. Okay, anybody's having another question, please go ahead. So Yash says what kind of projects we will do in the course. So there are different projects, Yash. The algorithm that I'll be working on. So there are different projects for different algorithm. Like linear regression, we can do the house prediction. We have to predict the price of a house. We can predict the price of a flight. We can predict the IPL score that is there. We can do that. And in case of classification, we can do the survival analysis. How many people did survive the Titanic crash? How many people didn't survive the crash? We have to predict that. We can predict whether that person is having a problem of sugar, whether that is not having a problem of sugar, whether that person is having which cancer, benign cancer, malignant cancer. These are the projects that we can do in case of machine learning. And then there are different projects for deep learning as well. Can UI UX students go for data scientists? Yes, definitely they can, if they have the willingness and if they are willing to give in the efforts and the time to do the job. Obviously possible. RPA, I'm not sure about RPA. Robotic process automation, I think you're asking. So I'm not sure about that. Vasu. Any other question, guys? Any other question for me? Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be just right. So Arju is saying I'm pursuing engineering computer science 3rd year. How data science is helpful for me in projects? So Arju, obviously, if you want to build a good project, then having knowledge of data science will be beneficial for you. Then maybe you can build something which can be used in your college, maybe a vision-based system, attendance system, that you can mark attendance of the people present on the vision. If they are present in the class, then you can mark their attendance, or something else as well. There can be a ton of things that can be implemented if you know all these things. And it's always the future in the company. Even if you go and join any of the company, then you would be definitely working on these projects related to data science. So having the knowledge, it will always help. Okay, anybody's having any other question for me? Please go ahead. No problem, thank you. Okay, so guys, any feedback that you would like to give about the session? Is there anything that I've missed on or that you want me to add in the future session? You can give your feedbacks. The feedbacks are welcome. And how would you rate the session? 1 out of 10? How was the session? Is what does it add any value to your life or not? Just type it according to your rating, according to yourself. How do you rate the session? Did you learn something out of it? And also write down if there is anything that needs to be added, that needs to be included for the next time, if I missed on something. Yes, can be included, Gaurav. For the next time we can do that. So after the session you will receive the recording for this session, whatever we have discussed, and also feedback form, which is again about the session, which you can fill and then give your feedback in that what are the things that you need for the next time when we conduct the session again. And we would love to hear your feedback. and all the information related to the courses will be shared to you all. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your amazing feedback. How you'll get certified? So you will get certification from IBM and from Brillica Services. So you will get all that information in an email. So Prabhat, don't worry, you will receive all that information in an email about the certification. You can visit our website, brillicaservices.com. I'll share this link one more time with you guys. You can open it up on your system and then you can visit through this. And if you Thank you, Prabhat. Thank you so much. So this is the contact number. You can just jot it down and you can give it a call at this particular number. Yes, you will get a certificate for this webinar, Arshad. You can note down the number 9873 18783 and it's 8821406888. This is the numbers that you can, these are the numbers that you can contact. Okay, so I guess thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being so patient, audience, and sitting here for 2 hours and ignoring all the distraction that you might have, ignoring all the work that you had. So thank you so much for an amazing time. I really enjoyed this session and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.